Academy. It's been quite a long time since we did the last episode, so we're gonna need a really good backstory going into this one. Recap. Sorry. So who wants to get that done?
I'm supposed to do it, right, for the long ones?
Yes, you are. That is true.
All right. I don't know where the teacher's name is, but we'll figure that out later. All right, so welcome back, everyone. It's been a while since our last session. And today I will be giving the recap not only of last episodes, but I guess of the last few episodes, just so everyone gets a full recap of what's been going on. So, the last big chapter started when um our party met this half elf that was waiting by a tree after their combat test. This half elf goes by the name of Drainery. Avar Drainer. What was your name? Avery Drainer, right?
Yes.
Right. He goes by the name of
Thanks,
Avery
DM.
Drainer. Um, our party meets with this elf, half elf. They have a nice casual chat in which he mentions that he has something to discuss with them after class if they're able to meet him outside the gate. Our students complete the rest of their tests for that day. It was the day of tests, if you guys remember that. And then they finally meet Avery outside the Glimwart's gate, and there Avery informs them of this criminal organization and that he plans to intercept a kid with a letter to discuss with the party on how they should steal the letter. And as this is going on, to figure out who should do what, you have Jay stealing Malcolm's coin purse and Avery failing to steal it from Jay. And there was a case of potential sexual harassment, but there were no witnesses. Eventually, they arrive at the interception point. They fake a fight in which they bump into the kid as Avery pickpockets both both papers that the kids have, the ones with instructions and the letter, while Malcolm drops the fake papers. The kid is panicked before Anakin breaks up the fight and the kid runs away. Then on the way to the hideout, they stop at a post office to pick up Mallory's letter that Anakin had been told to pick up a few days prior. They break the spell on dispel the read receipt magic on the letter. They figure out what's inside, and then they realize what they need to do. That they need to go in and impersonate the kid in order to get all the information on the hideout as they possibly can. So with Jay's disguise kit, Melka's guidance, and Avery's acting, they impersonate the messenger, hear some information, and leave with a different letter from the hideout. As they regroup back at Glimart, Jay checks with his owl and learns that the owl has spotted the Dino Boy. She offered whatever the owl wants as they go to. Sorry, he offers to give the owl whatever he wants since he forgot to bring the weasel that he had promised. At this point, Malka? Wait, did Malka read Mel's letter for Anakin? Or did I just mistype this?
I don't remember, but that sounds possible.
Sure, I wrote Malka reads Mal's letter to everyone. And now we're all informed of the events that are happening from Mallory's farm, or the farm in which Mallory stays in. Later, they decide they should try to find the kid to figure out what to do with the letter. And on their search for the kid, Drainer is checking out the inn while Anakin and Jay search for the kid, and Malkov studies the letter. Drainer finds out that the kid is not back yet. They regroup. Malkov is able to successfully despell the read receipt on the second letter just as the owl spots the kid returning to the inn and starts hooting. They quickly read the red letter, and as they're arguing about what to do, the boy already gets to the inn and is opening the door. They quickly send the owl to slip in through the door and drop the letter to the kid. The patrons of the inn see the owl, but only the kid sees the owl drop the letter before flying out the door with prestidigitation. Uh, yeah. Eventually, they go the long way back, avoiding the marketplace because their fear possible. Well, Drainer fears. Drainer is anxious about Anakin being anxious, but Anakin is anxious because he fears he might get stabbed in the back once again. They go back to the inn that the party has been renting out for the last week or two. No, just 1 week. And then they reveal all the information that each member has. After they talk for quite a while, they decide to go to the third secret sewer room. As they head over, they encounter the Glimmart's magic barrier in the sewer and start testing things out to figure out how it works. They enter the secret room in the third secret room and find this timeless place with a slab stone at the bottom. And with slab stone, with dwarvish writing, and there's a mural of Jack on the back, which has some text with a riddle, I guess. After using, they decide this isn't relevant to what they're doing right now, but they'll come back to this possibly in the future if they have time. And they head out to the first secret room instead. Although it's late, they still have time before tomorrow. When they get to the first secret sewer tunnel room, they solve the valve puzzle and defeat the bugs. They find up ripped coats. Drainer grabs the least tattered coat and puts it in his bag. They enter the south observation area room, lighting the torches on the walls along the way. They find the air quotes light switch to the underground forest. And as they walk through the tunnels, they hear some rustling sound. They also hear banging sounds from the zombies in the observation room where they check out after with the caved-in roof. After looking around and spending quite a bit of time, they pick the lock. They find all the research books in each of the rooms. Jay grabs a fancy cloak with 27 GP in it. They also find a chest full of stuff. Malkov reads some books. Jay picks the chest with Malkov's guidance. And in it, they find a lot of schematics, a ring, and a lantern. You guys, did you grab those schematics or did you leave them in the chest?
I took all the schematics.
Okay. Did you leave the lantern? Or did you bring that too?
I took the lantern as well.
Okay.
So I have the lantern, the ring, and the schematics.
They then check the remaining rooms and find a large red sleeping bird. They decide to leave it alone for the time being and check out the forest instead. Excuse me. They find a bunch of giant ants and get into a big fight. Anakin loses his javelin and an escaped ant. Malkov goes down, saved by his team before they run away from the sounds of reinforcement ants coming. They escape back to the dorms and are able to grab dinner before last call. Anakin goes to the inn to pay for the extra week and makes 2 more potions. The next morning, Drainer goes to the market to buy throwables. Jay goes to the library and reports he knows what the suspect looks like. She directs him to the older yearbooks. Jay finds him there and reveals who it is to Shushila. I guess I should write in brackets Brooke. It was Brooke, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy's name. She finds Jay. Oh, I can't tell you that part. That's an internal thought. Jay goes to breakfast where she sees Brooke eating quickly. He approaches Brooke and asks to be friends, but comes off really awkward. Charisma roll of 3. Brooke tries to leave quickly, but Jay follows him, and we have this cringeworthy interaction. After a few attempts to convince Jay to leave him alone, he realizes it's hopeless and bolts, closing the door on him and leaving Jay behind. As Malka is approaching the cafeteria, he passes by Brooke and meets Jay. They go to have breakfast together. When they go inside, let me just do this. Okay. As they get to lunch, they sit next to the group D from class F, which is the only group there that they know, where Jay was asking to overhear some rumors. And at this time, Drainer is like, okay, look through his throwables. He decides to go to the rest of the market and see if he can hear some stories, some rumors, some interesting tales that might be of interest to him. And that's where we last left off. Yeah. I think that's a lot of everything. Did I miss anything?
No.
I think that was pretty good summary.
So normally when we don't play in like a month or so, I usually give like a very detailed summary. I just help it finds everyone remember what was happening in the last few sessions, which were like a few months worth of time. So yes, this should help everyone realign themselves with what they wanted to do throughout those different moments. And now here we are back in present time. So I realized I don't have Roll20 open, so I'm about to do that right now. Is everyone else on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I should pause my music because it's going to be distracting. We got some
I should do the same thing.
Attack on Titan OST going on, not really relevant to what we're doing right now. You know what? I should probably just make a map for a lunchroom. I'm going to make a note of that. We spend a lot of time here. It's probably worthwhile. Because I made one for the sparring area. Lunchroom, Glimmarts, map. Okay. Yeah, I think I get a lot of use out of it. Okay. So I don't know why everyone's all over the place on here, but Jay's with Malka. Where's Oh, I should put the owl to characters, I guess. Might as well. Wait, which token was I using for you? Oh, I was just using this guy. Okay. I mean, which one are the players on? They're here. I guess I should just move it to here. Makes no sense. In the meantime, I'll figure out your character position because I did make a thing for it in a different page. Give me a few seconds. Which was the last thing we used you in? Oh, it would have been bottoms. Not the sewer. It was the sewer dungeon. So in the sewer dungeon, this is what we used. So I should say use as Avery Drainer, which doesn't exist. Which I will make quickly. Avery Ray. Oh, I spelled that wrong on here anyways. That's funny. Uh, um, save. Select this guy. Edit. Use selected token. Okay, sick. Should work now, right? I have a random. Bring him down here. So now if I do this, okay, sick. We have a drainer. Okay, drainer's tokens here. So Tori or Jay asked as they were eating breakfast with Malka, if he hears anything from class D from rumors. And as they're eating lunch together, Jay can overhear that as she's aware, class D people, sorry, not class D, group F, no, group D in class F, right? Group D in class F, or the fourth group, have a lot of what's the word? Desire to be the best. So they keep their eyes open for other strong people from other classes, and they'll hear them talk about this this one fighter in one of the upper year classes, who's really hard to hit. Like it's one of those people. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my fan. Where even though the sparring, they might go back and forth and no one hits each other for a bit, he ends up usually winning the sparring matches, just because of others' inability to hit him. So he's like one of the hardest people to hit, and it's is one of they hear that this guy is really annoying person to fight just because it's so hard for them to hit him. And the rest of the group kind of like, okay, I guess this guy is pretty strong because you can't really hit him, but like that's not really cool at all, because they'd rather just hit people hard themselves because there's not much glory you can get in just like dodging stuff. But yeah, that's what you hear from them.
Do I catch a name or a class?
They wouldn't know his name. Would they know his class? No, they don't. You don't know his class. You just know he's higher than class D. He's like either C, B, or A or something like that. They just know he's an upperclassman. It's like a rumor that he heard from another rumor. So they don't have full details on the information.
Okay.
Okay. That being said, now we can go back to Drainer. Although I don't have his throwable stuff yet, which I guess I'll do next time. It kind of got. I knew it was something I needed to do, but it was kind of lower priority compared to some of the other stuff, so it kind of got left behind. What does he hear in the market area as he's chilling and talking to people? Oh, he hears about some people, not some people, but like he hears a certain something being told by one person and then a similar sentiment being shared by other people. And the general feeling is that a lot of people who have family in the country areas in Ucross, you know how there's like the three like continents, I guess.
So what's it called again? Ucross?
Ucross. It's where Zanji comes from. Did you ever see that like map thing? It's like a very basic like paint map, but there was like a
yeah.
map.
I would have looked at it.
Let's see.
But I don't remember the name of it. But it's fine.
let me see if I can quickly see it as I'm scrolling. So a lot of people that live there are from like these rural areas, and like um so what's happening is there a lot of these people's family members who live there have like heard that there's a lot more attacks in the area by neighbor, like the monsters that are nearby. And unlike um oh my god, what is the continent, the moon shaped one called? uh
Lunar Island.
Uno?
uh uh is if I- Zustria, okay? In Zustria, unlike this, where there's like a lot of big cities and there's like a lot of people and there's not as many monsters nearby, Yecross has a lot more monsters. The cities are a lot smaller. It's a lot more of a dangerous area. So monster attacks are a big problem there. Whereas here, the city walls are huge. Generally, don't have to worry about like monsters causing problems. But over there have been a lot of monster attacks. It's been on the rise, and it's greatly affecting the trade in that area and that entire continent, and it seems to have been making things there very difficult. Um, and all imports that come from there are being affected right now. So there is a bit of a problem with these recent things. Um, the imports have not been affected greatly yet, but if it continues, there will be, and they don't know why these monsters are agitated, or if it's a short-term thing and a long-term thing. Um, you just know that the people there are like really worried about their family members. Some of these people have, as you've been like, you listen around, you hear and stuff, talking to people. Some of these guys have, the people who have family members in the city. Some of them have requested some quests to help, like, get some of the adventures there to help deal with some of those problems. Um, Something that I guess I never brought up before, because I guess it never came into play, is there's a lot of different guilds, right? Um, you know about like the big three, but there are also a lot of other guilds as well. And there's where is it? I don't remember what it's called. Uh, oh. Why did I call it this? This is such a stupid name.
Was there all of them?
Okay, whatever. They're called the Angels of Gnomish Penguins. Okay, I don't know what drugs I was on here. Okay, but that's the name of their guild, and people like Anakin, who like came from Ucross. They were like living there. They were chilling. They're doing their thing. They were struggling, but they like came. They finally gained some strength. They became an adventurer. Big city. They learned a lot of new stuff. They spent most of their time to protect like their other farmlands and other areas like that. Back in Ucross, they used their combat to do like their combat strength and their ability to do stuff to take on quests that would help out the neighborhood where they grew up in or other nearby areas, and they kind of just mostly focus on that, although it's not very profitable, and although it's a much smaller guild, they generally deal with the regular threat that's going on. It is a small guild, and with increased attacks, they don't have enough people to handle the new influx of quests that people are sending to deal with that problem. So some of the other guilds have been offered some of these um, quests as well. But again, there's not much money in doing one on its own. But because there's so many, a few of the lower members in the guild, some of the other guilds are thinking, hey, we can send some of our rookies there. We can send them out. It'll take them like a week or so to get there. But if they can just do this for like an entire week or two, there's abundance of quests right now. They can get a lot of EXP, make some decent money, and then come back. So that is something that's potentially being discussed right now. But even if that were to go through, it would take an entire week to send people over there. So unless they can deal with the problem relatively quickly, it may or may not hurt trade in the short term. But they're pretty confident, oh, monsters are just being rampant for a little bit. Those guys will come. They'll deal with the problem. some people here will throw some money, send some quests, save those people back there, and then everything will be fine and dandy, kind of like a relief fund thing. Like after like a hurricane hits or something, you send some relief to the area from like the richer areas, and then things are fine. So it's kind of in that situation. That's generally the sentiment. A lot of people are worried for their families. People that don't have families there don't really care. Some people just treat it as like farm boy problems. But in terms of guild movement, it is something that's happening with the rookie members. Like, hey, there's a lot of stuff we can do. Maybe we can get some money off this. And that's that.
I see.
Very cool. What's the biggest import from Ucross?
The biggest import.
What are they really known for? You know, like what's a like a delicacy
Monster
there?
meat.
It's okay. So because there's like not as many mobs in Zustria, a lot of things like goblins, not even just goblins, just like because goblins don't have that many useful stuff. Just most monster parts for alchemical purposes or otherwise, that are like, I don't know if you're making monster bones into like weapons or whatever, like anything that would require monster parts is mostly all comes from your cross. Also, they do have a lot of trees there, so a lot of lumber comes from there as well. Beyond that, I don't know what's the larger and stuff. I haven't gone that too deep. Okay, it's the surface level only. Don't ask too many complicated
What do
questions
you mean?
right
How
now.
are we supposed to have macroeconomics if you don't know that?
Bro, it's coming. It's in stages. It comes at times.
Okay,
So-
this is very interesting. And I seem to recall. I'm not sure if I seem to recall Anakin is from Ucross, right?
He is from that continent, yes.
Okay. I'll have to
So
ask him
he can
about
just
it.
make up the lore, and you have to go with it.
Where's I know I have a thing here.
What do you mean make up the lore? He's been, he's been
Yeah,
there
he's
since he was
sorry,
a kid.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
my
here we
bad,
go.
my bad.
Here's
He
a bit
knows
of a
the
thing.
lore. He just happened to remember the lore of his area, right?
Okay. Let me see. Let me look at this. Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 100%. There's so much more forest in your cross. I don't know if it would be the greatest export, but I would like lumber is used for a lot, so I would imagine just lumber would be their number one. I can't say for sure, but don't quote me on that. Pretty much everything in Ucross is exported through Storm Oak Port. It is like the only main commercial port that can just go to every trading port in Zustria, and it's just like, okay, here's like a little. This is a terrible map. Okay, so don't like be like, oh, why is your map like garbage? But this should give you.
You
So
gave
if
me
I
the name of the, you just gave me the name of the major port, right? Okay.
If I just remember that there was a sacred forest with super aged tree that have like enchanted wood, and then there's currently a lot of poaching of these enchanted woods because they go for high prices for magical staffs or whatever. And there is a silver war between people who want the monetary extraction versus the preserve of like sacred ground. And then due to a
He's
lot
just
of
ma-
fighting, there's now infrastructure is being harmed or it destabilized and whatever.
There's a lot of collateral damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I send you an image. That's roughly how
Well,
things kind of generally are looking, I guess.
Why don't you just throw it up on D20?
What? I mean, you've seen it a bunch of times, no?
Yeah, just throw it on D. What if we have new viewers?
Oh, that's how you spell Ucross.
What am I
Yes.
looking at?
It's
I
just
guess
you
I
playing,
should.
but
You
with
know
a
what? You know what? I should have it on roll 20. I'll be honest. That makes
Just put
sense.
it onto our handouts.
I don't know what we're looking at.
We
Yeah,
should
yeah.
we should always have it. It should be part of the Gleemax
I don't want to make this on the
orientation
handout,
package.
but I will put this in a place, okay? And then um
Where is the map? Where am I supposed to be
Oh my
looking?
god.
it just give me
Okay.
1 minute, okay? But I will put this in a place, and then I don't want to put it in what's it called, in the handouts, because this is like such a garbage image, but I'll make a better image and then I'll put it in the handouts, okay?
Okay.
Mhm.
Sure.
Mhm.
Here, but this is basically what we're looking at, okay?
Oh
I
god.
hate this image so much,
Wasn't that?
but all right, makes sense.
Wait, I'm also for Zestra. That's crazy. I live like in the forest, don't I?
Where am I from?
Is Zastra an ocean?
No, it's
No,
It
the
that's
was,
the
it was
moon
just
ship.
smack in the middle of the water.
it's the island.
Where's the place?
Oh,
Where's Jay from?
Wait, I swear the map that I saw was different.
That
Jay.
one looks like.
That one looked better because I remember like you putting like an actual thing on the map like where I came from, and it was like to the north, to the northeast.
That might just be for your eyes only.
I think it was a hard
Potentially,
copy.
but I don't know. I really have no idea, because I think there was like another thing before, but this is honestly all I have right now. So it is what it is. We figure it out later, I guess.
So I'm from the because I remember I live in like this little weird woods area. I live in the forest. I live in like a library in the forest, or like right in front of the forest, something like that.
Right. Okay, so yeah, that should give you an idea of that.
Like somewhere like I remember. Like
I
here
think that
some-
was a decent amount of information. You probably spend like your morning doing that. You probably got to go to class now. I don't think you can get any more information before class starts. And around this time, our Anakin will also wake up now. Finally.
Oh, I probably eat at the market as well if I missed like breakfast or something.
wait. Am I waking up in the dorm or in the inn?
Where did you end up going to bed? I think you.
I don't remember.
Let me
I
see
mean,
if
is it gonna affect your movement?
No, but I. What time is it right now?
I'm not. Well, let's just say it's right before class, because you stayed up making potions.
Oh,
So I think you have time to get to eat breakfast, and then you can just head straight to class.
okay. I guess I'll eat breakfast and go to class.
Yeah, I literally
Uh,
have nothing written for you actually, Anakin.
Amazing.
Okay, so when you start heading over to, let's just say you slept at the inn, as you're heading over to eat breakfast, you won't see Drainer in the market, but when you get to Glimmarch, you'll have arrived at the gate when you see that Drainer is like opening the door to the building. So he's about like 200, 300 meters in front of you, but he arrives like a minute or two before you to the building. And then Drainer will go in, he'll get his food from the cafeteria. You guys will do the same. And that just reminds me, it is the end of the week, so you guys have to pay for your food, right? I don't believe you've done that yet.
I don't think so.
So, okay, let's look at the costs on this. Pretty straightforward. It's not too much. Malkoff 4 silver for the week. Jay 4 silver for the week. Anakin 10 silver for the week.
Oh. True. I do have a lavish lifestyle.
So I did also remember the rule. It's 5 silver cost reduction from being in the cooking club, but minus 10 if you're have proficiency. So I think the idea was for you to get proficiency, and then it wouldn't cost you much. But you got your potion making one. You don't have that yet, so it's only 10.
The guy's barely even in the
Um,
cooking club. Let's be honest here.
Drainer for you, it would have been 25 minus 10 because you do have cooking proficiency from the club. But you're not doing last week because you came in on like Friday, so it doesn't make sense to like have you pay for the entire week when you only like lived for like 2 days. So we'll just have
Sure.
you do it next week.
He's
Hey,
Wait, he
free
was
food.
literally born yesterday?
Um, okay. Expenses for a cooking club. Minus 10 if proficient.
I only
Okay.
have 6 gold left.
Okay, so okay, you guys, unless you have anything to say to Drainer, Anakin, we can just get to classes.
I guess
Yeah,
not.
I'm gonna go to class.
Yeah.
All right.
How many people are in class D?
Okay, so you guys have to go to class F, right?
We do?
Yeah.
It's Saturday. What am I doing?
No, it's Monday, isn't it? It is Monday.
What?
Wait, hold on a second. It is it is Saturday.
Wait, is it Saturday?
Oh,
Yes.
you're right. It was Friday night.
Oh my god, why was I so tripping about all the school stuff? Oh my god. Wait, that makes sense.
Wait, now
Oh.
I have less idea of what I want to do. I guess I'll just go back and fight the ants. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm so
Wait,
stupid.
Saturday, why?
Sorry, go ahead.
Hmm?
No, I'm just like
Does that change things? It would probably change what we do, huh?
That
I
took
mean, you
me
guys
a
just get
hot second
breakfast.
to realize. It wasn't until you said like we need to go to class F. I was like, wait, why are we in class right now? If you glossed over that, we would have been in class right now.
That's why Brooke was in a rush. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. I'm like, why is he running? I was listening to the audio. I'm so confused. Why is he eating so quick? Okay, I understand. I'm like, why did like he has class? He can't just get to class early, but it doesn't have class. Okay, okay, we're on Saturday. Okay, so then roughly when Malcaw and
So that means Drainer can stay in the market and listen to more gossip.
yeah, but he still needs to eat breakfast, no?
Yeah, but you can
I mean-
get breakfast and then listen to more gossip.
Yeah, so
right?
Malcaw and Jay will finish by the time Drainer gets there. Anakin won't be there yet. I don't know what you guys want to do. If you're gonna just like separate, or because if you want to combine the party, this would be the time to do it. Otherwise, you can stay in your two groups, I guess.
What do we want to do? What do we want to do?
I'm gonna go to the magic district.
I want to establish a trade agreement with Drainer so I can
Build
start
more deliverers.
passive income from the new influx of
Okay,
products.
so
because
so
they
do we
announce their
want
attacks.
to? Okay, so do we want to use the base as like a base?
I guess we
Yeah.
should probably fix that because I don't
We
want to
will,
be.
but
I
we'll
already
get
paid for
some.
another week, but if I
Yeah, I mean it's not.
don't,
I don't think we should. We don't necessarily need to move everything right now because there's still the ant problem.
or the ant solution, because I come from Crux and I know how to harvest things, and now we just have an infinite ant farm.
Like he's just remembered that too.
Yeah.
But like, what can we harvest from ants?
So, crab claws are a delicacy, but ant claws are the off-brand.
You know, we could just harvest the trees that's in that forest. If we
I've
have like a
been
way
on
to, yeah, if we have a way to like grow trees underground, that's like sustainable lumber.
what is
That is
sustaining it? We
true.
don't know.
The magic. I mean,
Is
but like, I guess I mean, that's something completely different, though, right? At least for
Yeah,
now.
doesn't
I mean,
lumber
I
like
guess it's like,
Because the biggest problem with the ants right now is the fact that they have the potential to just destroy the base. They've eaten through a wall already. There's no telling that they're gonna do the other wall. And right now we have all this other stuff up. If we can figure out what they're used for, like we already talked about how like that like if we can harvest that like mist or whatever, like that's basically a toxin, right?
oh yeah, you're
The
right.
gas. So like we have a free like thing right there, right? Um So, but obviously that stands to like if we don't want it to get destroyed, but we can't risk having like anything like break it up, right? So it's like what value do the ants hold? Because I think because they threaten the integrity of the entire base, it doesn't make sense to keep them around.
Keep the ants around or keep the
Yes,
base?
the ants.
Okay.
Because if we can get rid of the ant infestation, we can basically keep the entire base, right? And to get rid of the ants shouldn't be too hard. We basically just use a poison. And we just keep feeding them poisonous food. And we have access to free poison. Like, who would have thought? Because we're in the freaking base itself. We can just taint the food. Right? We could gas them out with the gas itself. Because we have access to that as well. But my point being, we have access to, like, remove the ants. But Anakin wants to harvest the ants for some reason. Like I don't know what we could get from harvesting the ants.
I mean, he could go and research that or something.
But
But I'm
regardless, I
gonna
think
leave
right
that
now the
alone.
colony is way too big to try and do that. I think the threat on the base is way too high. Where regardless of if we're trying to harvest them or not, I think we need to minimize their numbers.
Yeah, I guess I do. I am interested in keeping the place as a base, especially if we have a continuous source of like a toxic like resource,
Mm-hmm.
like and I think that's very valuable. And then I have my whole like lumber, potential
Yeah.
in that forest. So I'm all for it, honestly. If we can get rid of the ants. And I'm sure the books and whatnot are pretty interesting as well. We could
Yeah.
probably figure some stuff out from that.
The books are like highly valuable. Like these, like you don't even understand how like insane these books are. Like I don't think like you reading these books, you'd be able to like fathom like how like actually your pea brain can't like understand how like insane these books are.
Yeah, Malco. I'm sure they're really, really interesting.
Oh,
Anyways,
did you guys meet up?
I guess we could just like meet up and well, I mean, I guess we're
I,
trying
I
to
mean,
figure out
at
what
this
we're going to
point,
do when we meet up,
I
right?
imagine because me and Jay are yeah,
Hmm.
me and Jay are already like together, and then we see you come in, right?
Yes.
So we would all just be I would be like hang out to like talk about what our next moves would be, and that's what this conversation. That's what I assumed this conversation was.
Okay,
Uh,
so as Jay and Malkoff see Drainer come in, even though they finished eating, they'll like wave to Drainer. Drainer sees them, he'll grab his food, comes and sits down. And when you guys sit down, you start discussing your stuff. And maybe Malcott doesn't really care to pay attention, but I'm sure Jay would pay attention to the fact that his food looks really, really good compared to hers. Is like super fancy. Um, and then yeah, you guys are having this conversation. And a few minutes after, Anakin will also come through the door, and he'll come grab some food and I guess join you as well. Or
Also, we still have until Wednesday, because Wednesday is the
Yeah.
drop date, and then we need to recruit somebody to be with us because I think this like thing is kind of like too big for like us to handle just by ourselves. I think it's a bit too risky. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
my
we should probably figure out that whole business with the because
Yeah.
okay, which one did we want to focus on? Did we want to focus on the drop or did we want to focus on getting the base?
Definitely the drop,
so the
right?
base thing should be pretty simple, I think. Just like I think like once in the morning or something, we could just get poisoned meat and just toss it there, right? And then basically like do the same thing at night cuz it should be relatively easy to do uh
Wait, what are we doing?
from
What are we doing this
school.
for?
If we're trying to put like poisoned meat and feed it to the ants to reduce their population.
Oh.
Because we can do that, like we can essentially do that from Glimmars, right? Like we just go down into like the one like storeroom, going into the sewers, and then from there it's just like 10 minutes at most to get there, I think, something like that. Um, and then we can just easily just drop the thing up because it's a pretty passive way of extermination. It's not like active at all, right? So I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page with exterminating
Basically
the
just
rats.
weeding
Ants.
out, like we're feeding them ant out.
Yeah, essentially. And I could look into it a bit more to see like how to easily deal with these ants, and like if for nice one, or if we need if there's like anything else like if just in case we could try to like reinforce walls or something if that's possible, we could try to see if there's a specific thing they're weak to, whatever the case may be. I could look into that. Because I think right now they serve a greater threat than they are like an actual benefit by keeping them alive.
Those ants really did a number on you, did they, Malco?
A little bit traumatized.
Well, yes, but also they have a bigger threat to the books.
Oh. So if we just move the books out of there, then you'd be fine with me keeping the ants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's either the base or the ants, right? And I think the base itself has much higher value than the ants because the ants are kind of useless.
I guess so. So the ants have poison. Can we use the poison on the ants?
I mean, it could be a different poison. Not all poison's the same.
Yeah, but there's just like corpses of ants, right? Can we just like milk it and put it onto like? Can we just feed the ants dead ants?
I don't think that's how that works.
Just imagine we bring like a campfire down there and then cook the ants, and they're like, "Wow, what's this? It smells good." And then it has like ant poison on it, and they eat it, and they're like, "Oh no!"
I mean, so one, I still don't think that they're cannibalistic, and two, as a general rule of thumb, if you're carrying poison on you, you want to be at least resistant to that poison.
I guess. Sometimes while I'm making ant taco, I might get a little hungry. But imagine you, a humanoid-ish creature, and I make you a pork chop, and you're just like, "Wow, what meat is this?" And then you just eat it. I don't think the ants can tell. They just know that it's no longer ant-like. So whether they're cannibalistic or not, it's a processed product,
Oh,
cooked.
okay. Well, um,
I see what you mean. I see what you mean, but the poison was still wouldn't be the same.
Well, we
Still have
have
to
the
get a
poison
different
as
poison.
on the top, but I don't know because if the ants have the same way like snakes can poison if they bite themselves, it's still like they have a resistance, but they're not like immune. And now we just have like
Okay, so the base. Okay, so the simple way to get rid of the ants would be to get meat. It could sure we could use their own meat. Maybe that would work. right?
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't, whatever. Um, but we would still have to get an outside poison because I think the current stage we wouldn't be able to harvest use the poison within the facility because we would require testing and like because I don't know maybe we have to like
You're
distill
talking
like
about the bird gas.
yeah because we probably have to like distill the gas in some way for it to be usable in like an actual liquid form, right?
I thought
And
it was
that
corrosive, so it wouldn't work.
I mean I don't know. I'm saying that would require research. So regardless,
I guess
it's I would take time to either read the research notes or to test it ourselves. And we kind of have a deadline of Wednesday. So I don't
oh
think
right.
that's like our big priority. We could just throw a random poison. Do I have poison? Let me check. Do I have poison? I have anti-poison. Healing, healing. No, I could search up. Oh, I have an unknown potion. We do
Is
have
it an
3 unknown
unknown potion?
potions. Right. We still have to test those just to figure out what they are.
Did you ever test out the dagger?
No.
Did you ever test out the ring?
No.
Do you have a method to test these things?
So first is just inference via magic, like just try to basically like, read the magic signature, which is very difficult to do, and I don't think it would actually work. And the other is just trial and error. Or I could look for an
see.
appraiser.
Oh, true. You know, I should have looked for. I don't know if that was a good idea.
Like
You can always just
I mean, the first option is
pay a
trying to.
wizard to use an identify spell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's basically an appraisal, right?
Yeah, basically.
Uh, so one is trying to like reverse engineer an identification spell. Uh, just try to brute force it via my magical prowess, which probably won't work. But you know, you never know. And then second is, yeah. I mean, realistically, that's probably the best way to go about it. Is just like identify it, right? But
Yeah. I took out the silver ring that we got from the chest. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do with this, guys. You guys figure it out.
I mean, I already have. Okay, you know what? I guess I'll you know what? We're on time. Should I just pay money
Yeah.
to get this done? Because I feel like I just never have time for anything.
Have a lot of time now.
We have until Wednesday, and we still don't know what we're doing.
Ah, that's why I have so much free time, because it's all just useless.
That's the biggest thing on my mind is we need to have a plan before Wednesday. Or going into Wednesday. Because the drop's happening
Yeah.
on Wednesday, right?
Yes. Let me just look at the particulars of the drop again.
So that's something we should figure out. Like
Wednesday
off
at 6
Tuesday.
o'clock. Westgate
I
of Osprey.
agree. I think right now, who do you think? Oh, right. That's what we have to figure out who was in charge of the listings for Class F. Because whoever they are has a high chance of being the person who is in cahoots with the enemy, right? They're the traitor. There's a good chance they're the traitor.
They're the imposter.
Yeah, basically. Right? Based off the wording of the letter, it sounded like that.
Mm.
I thought I got promoted because I was really good.
I mean, that's one thing, but there's a good chance we no, it's that's not why. The promotion was kind of like an after thing because it specifically here I don't know which letter it is. But basically in the letter it said the guy specifically putting like higher like when they have like for the griffins for example, right? They were like, "Oh, we want these griffins, but we don't want there's going to be a thing on them. Let's just toss that like task into class F so it doesn't get done." But unfortunately for them, we were the ones who got it, and we actually did get it done. Right? So
Yeah, I think that's like the last letter, actually, right?
because they have. We've lost the Griffins in some unforeseeable course of events. A group of Gilmar students in Class F defeated all 3 Griffins. They recklessly take tasks without information, yet were strong enough to face the challenges. Without oh shit, hold on. Without releasing it.
Realizing?
Is that realizing? Dude, I can't read.
It's releasing. Without releasing it, as long as that group exists.
It was probably releasing, but it sounds like it should have been realizing.
Without realizing it, as long as that group exists, we won't be able to let these tasks go to Class F. Let these tasks go to Class F. That was the key. That was the key wording there. Right?
Yeah.
Assuming that they won't be completed, yeah.
Yeah, so then they're like, assuming that just terrible luck we had these students this year. Perhaps we'll be fortunate enough that they advanced class quickly. Otherwise, I may have to intervene. Yeah, and then I was throwing like a kind of like a blanket statement that like perhaps they did have some like form of intervention to get it like expedited so quickly. But that was just like conjecture, and I have no like reason to properly base that off of anything.
Who do we believe the traitor is?
We don't know yet.
We don't know. Our best lead right now is that they're most likely a teacher, or someone who has authority to assign tasks, or someone who's related in any way to like get tasks on the board. Going through the reasoning we had, it can't be someone who is low ranking. It has to be someone with enough power. Otherwise, like, because this person seems to be have some sort of power in the organization itself. So they have to be somewhat higher up, but they're probably not like, they could be super higher up too, but they're not like a student. I ruled out student because I think that students are kind of worthless to them in that regard.
I mean, it could be like a teacher or like someone in the school using students though, right?
I basically I forgot my reasoning, but I remember saying that it makes no sense for them to use students because like they have just so much more authority, and students actually like can do nothing because students are already so busy. Because essentially, like if you're in a class D or lower, or not D, yeah, D or lower, which would be the prime targets. They're kind of weak and they can't do anything anyways, so they're kind of useless as like having them on your side. But anything higher, and they're gonna be too busy to like actively like have time to do both like traitorous things and like
Unless they're
schoolwork at the same
sandbagging.
time.
Unless it's somebody in a lower class that's sandbagging.
I guess that's technically true. I'm trying to search up where
Let me just look at my list of school staff at the moment and the information I have on them. I don't have much, but I do have like the names and
Someone in a
everything.
lower class might not have any
I
privilege,
don't
so it's like, why?
remember where I put my, because I
So this
wrote
is-
out all the notes.
By the way, this is the type of discussion that could happen without me being here.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's currently where we are. So right now we should be trying to find the person,
I mean,
right?
I would be fine with splitting up, and so like Drainer can go with like you or someone, and then since Drainer has high charisma, he can talk to the staff.
Okay, so I'll
try to
go
get into
to figure out the magic stuff because I think we should just get that over with. I think that's just like not knowing that information is just gonna be more annoying than like whatever.
magic stuff.
And then I guess you and Drainer can go and try to figure out who the person is because you have faith in Isaac, but I kind of don't. So you can go and talk to Isaac and try to clear his name, I guess.
Um, um, I don't know if that's the best course.
What do you mean?
Because if you think he's sus, then talking to him will raise his suspicions of us.
Yeah, but you can just go on like nonchalantly, like, yo, by the way, these now
No,
that I think about it,
nonchalantly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just be like, now that I think about it, these tasks were kind of difficult. No, why were they in class F? Who's in charge of these in the first place? Like that line of questioning.
Yeah, but then I would have to talk. Because then Janer doesn't, he's not in class F, so it makes no sense for him to say anything.
I mean, he's
to-
in our
to
class
teacher Isaac.
now,
Yeah, but he
or we're
wouldn't
in his
say that.
group now. Or maybe it's because of him that they thought about this. So like, you know what? We didn't think about this before. Now that he's here.
Yeah, I basically I'm here and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but like
you
talking.
guys-
He goes like, I've been talking to these guys a lot, and like
That
these
can't be
classes
easier than
that they
ours.
had were
That's
kind of
somewhere I
wild.
I have somewhere I want to go.
I see. You want to bail. You don't want to do thing stuff.
I've been waiting for this, man. Get out of my boot. I'm gonna go to the Magic District.
I mean, I can probably go and like maybe talk to them.
Can
I
you
think
disguise
one of
yourself
us
as
should be
me?
with you as you do it, because otherwise it's kind of weird. Okay, Anakin, you go with Drainer. I'll go with Thing.
Okay.
I don't really need accompaniment if that's what
I
you
mean,
mean.
because I was gonna go do the thing, right? I guess I don't have to go to the
Yeah.
Magic District. I could just ask a student again. Just pay a random wizard student. Which,
I will equip my silver javelin.
you're staying in the
Okay.
school grounds.
I will hold it like a walking stick.
Okay, well, I'm gonna head off. If that's what our plan.
How difficult would it be for me to try and like appraise this thing myself without a spell?
Which thing?
Both the ring and the dagger.
So, to get a full identification, you'd get a full identification done. If there's
Okay.
obvious effects, then you can just like find the obvious effect. Like for example, if it's a ring that makes your hand twice as big and you put it on, your hand becomes twice as big. It's a pretty obvious effect, right?
Yeah.
So no one has put on the ring yet, so we don't know if it's an obvious effect. If it's an obvious effect, it's quite easy to tell. But even if there is an obvious effect, you don't know if there is a secret secondary later effect that comes later unless you get it identified. For example, if it's something that you put on and makes your hand twice as big, and then you see that, and then you think that's all it does, but it also has a special thing that you don't notice that, I don't know, maybe you go faster when you're swim underwater. Like when you're underwater, your hand that's twice as big actually become like webbed fingers and you get like mermaid like speed or something. You won't know that until you're in water and you only observe the obvious effect. So if there is only an obvious effect, you can find out the obvious effects, but you won't know if that's all the effects. But if you want a full
Okay.
identification, you can get that done. So
So-
it depends on what you think this does, and based on you could probably try to see if there's any obvious stuff going on, so you can kind of figure out what would likely be happening with this.
So if I were to get it appraised, what's the market rate for an appraisal by like a proper wizard?
So in order to get that done, I believe you need the identify spell, and the identify spells component requires a material component, a pearl worth at least 100 GP, and an owl feather.
Oh my god.
So
Oh
it
my
costs 100
God.
gold for the
Wait,
caster to do this.
Does it use the pearl? Like, is it?
Yes, it does. So it costs 100 gold for the person to cast the identify. So even if you were supplying the money, depending on I mean, there's a lot of magic items in here, so people could get paid just to identify stuff. So you generally first level spell slots to pay someone to do for you would cost like 100 GP, but because of the abundance of magical items and the high demand and people being able to lower cut other people, and there's probably other homebrew stuff that probably exists in my world that I don't have written out yet. Um, we can say the full identify cost 200 GP, but there are cheaper alternatives for weaker magical items. So anything common or under, like a low level magical items, we can get for 50 to 100 gold to identify, but like a full identification requires like 200 GP, and that will work for like pretty much everything.
And that's for one item.
Yes.
Dude, what the heck? That's insane.
If I can tell you, so is a pearl a pearl? Because if I understand the chemical makeup of it, is it just the?
That's a very deep and philosophical question, and as a non-spellcaster, I don't know how you would know the answer to that.
Okay.
But yeah, depending on what the item is, if it's like especially like a lower thing, you might be able to get it identified for like 50 gold.
But we don't have an idea. Like, I can meta game and say it's probably a lower cost because of our levels, but like, realistically, there's no reason to believe that it is low cost because both items are from what seem to be pretty high like sources. Like the girl is kind of like a really
you can
famous
always,
assassin.
Like, give a detect magic, and you can generally get like a strength of signature, and then use that. Okay. To figure things out.
I guess, but I can only use detect magic once, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who has it up.
You guys get your detect magic back once every 2 long rests, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I don't.
we're in a bit of a situation.
I don't know if like that would. So if we believe that it's like 50 GP for, I don't know how, like, I guess we have like a good idea that it's probably around that pricing, based on the demand and how many like wizards are in the school.
Do we have access to school facilities? Like a teacher would probably know how to do this, right? But they're not
would
gonna
we
charge us.
risk getting a teacher to do it for us?
I don't think there's teachers.
The dagger might be questionable, but they probably would be like whatever. If they don't, I don't think they've actually have seen the dagger itself, because when the girl died, she was in her civvies, so they wouldn't know about how the dagger looks. So for them, it'd just be any random dagger. But if the ring could raise suspicion.
Okay, so let's just so you guys are right now. You're eating breakfast, right? Everyone is done eating breakfast at this point in time. You guys are discussing, and like your food is done. I guess Drainer would have had to pass you the ring at this moment because he didn't give it to you earlier, so he can give you the ring. Is that happening now? The transfer?
Yeah, I have the ring, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of, I don't know. You were talking about like the magic, like,
Okay.
getting
Okay.
getting it done. So
Okay. So
you'll hand over the ring. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. I'm just saying this. I'm gonna for today. I'm just gonna work on figuring out the ring and the dagger, because maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll give us a clue or something.
Oh, do you want to also take a look at this lamp?
I guess, but we already have an idea of what the lamp does, right? No.
Presumably, but we haven't tried using it.
Isn't that because we couldn't use it? What was it? What did the notes say about it again?
It's supposed to.
You can go over the notes in greater detail too, because I kind of just give you the summary as you were skipping. If you go into more detail, you can potentially find more information.
Oh, I can take some time to like read them if you want me to. I do have all the schematics and all the designs.
I think.
And documents.
I think I
can
should
spend my
do
time
that.
going through those.
I think I should go through that because I'm the nerd in the group, right?
Oh, nerd. What's your intelligence?
That's a good question. What is my intelligence? Like 2?
Not your
Like,
IRL stat.
My int is 1, so like if I
My
really wanted
intelligence
to, I
is
could.
15 and my wisdom is 16.
My intelligence is 15. My wisdom's 17.
Doesn't look like.
I mean, I feel like if I guess you could read them and try to like understand like what these are. But I mean, I guess you need to like you're spreading yourself a little thin, right?
What do you mean?
Like I could technically go and find like someone to do the appraisals. And
Okay, so I'm thinking rather than find, because I think it's very expensive and they might not even be worth it. I think before doing an actual appraisal, I'm literally just gonna go into the library and try to find a book on testing magical things without an appraisal. There's probably a book on it.
Is it called the scientific method?
Literally, it's the I'm literally looking for a book on the scientific method, essentially.
wait, can't we just employ the scientific method instead of?
Okay, stab me in the hand. That's what Kirito did.
That's what I'm doing. The thing is, it's not gonna be 100% accurate because, like, the DM was saying, there could be like hidden abilities that we wouldn't know about, right? It's not 100%, but I think for just knowing what it is probably
before we
good
go
enough.
further, have you ever like just looked at the objects in detail first?
No.
No, I don't think we did.
But no, okay. So that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna take all the stuff and I'm just gonna spend the entire day today working on the objects. That's what I'm gonna do, like everything. And if at the end of the day I come to the conclusion that I know nothing and we're gonna need to appraise it, then that it is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna take the day to just like look through everything. And if I'm gonna do that already, I think it makes the most sense for me to also just take in the research notes and try to figure out the other stuff as well, right? And I'll just always be in the library and I basically won't be moving from there. I might move from there to like do some specific testing, but like generally I'll always be in the library, right? So like if you ever need me or like need to think, it should be pretty obvious where I am.
Oh.
Okay. I might look into the whole base thing then. In that case, I don't know if unless someone else is coming with me to talk to like Isaac or something, I might just do the base stuff.
Yeah, I think the Isaac thing is I think Anakin should be going with you to do that. And then we'll see from there based off what information you can go out and do whatever. Otherwise, we can, if you want, you can come back to the library and then we can talk from there and see depending on what the information we get. If you think it's like a dead end, then we're gonna have to rediscuss. And see what we can do from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then
what? Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I don't know what Jay's doing, but whenever he's done, he can like I don't know, try to come to me or something.
Yeah, all good. All good. Hear it clear and
Okay.
loud.
One thing before you head out, how do you get through that barrier, magic barrier in the sewers again?
Oh yeah, I have a special key.
Oh, is there a way to duplicate it?
We already had this conversation.
No.
Did we? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
then it was like, oh, it's magical, so you can't duplicate it. And then Amod was like, can I duplicate it with my magical thing? I'm like, roll Arcana, and you failed this check, so he can't.
Basically, it's possible. It's very difficult, and it's outside of my range.
Can you find someone to duplicate the key as well? Maybe.
That is again being very sus because like almost nobody knows this key actually exists, right?
Okay.
And the
So
fact
we
that
can only go down there with you.
I can lend you the key, but
Bro, I'm getting so much deja vu right now. We had this exact same word.
yeah, I know. Okay, just do your stuff and then we'll reconvene after. Okay.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
There we
So
go.
you guys have made your plans. Lunch, breakfast is over. It took quite a long time because it was one person's breakfast, second person's breakfast, plus discussion time. But everyone's done. You put your food away. Um. Um. Yeah. So food is put away, and you guys dipperino. Okay. Now that you guys dipperino to your designated tasks, Malk call goes to the library
Yes.
or to the room first.
Do I unless he put the research notes in the thing? If I have the research notes and the lamp, and the 2 magical items, I'm going to the library.
Okay, so Drainer gives you the research notes and the lamp and the ring. You're gonna head off to the library and start your examination. Let's go through this because this is what we've been talking about, so we might as well go over this. So first thing you do is you take out the respective objects. What did I say? The ring was cold. It's still cold. Although, yeah, it's a plain ring. You start looking over it. You're examining it. It doesn't seem to have anything special visually on it. It just looks like a regular old ring. Do you put it on or you pull out another item?
I'll put it on.
Okay, you put on the ring, and after putting it on, there's no difference that you notice when you put on the ring. But as someone who's used magic stuff before, you feel like you could put some energy into it. You want to put some, like, just a little bit of this. It's not a spell slot, but just like try to put some of your energy into it.
Where am I right now? I'm in the library.
In the library, right?
Yeah, just like a little. I'll point to the floor and just in case, and then just like put a little.
Okay,
thing.
so you put your ring underneath the table, pointed towards the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, and you put some energy into it. How would I describe this? Okay, so you're a magic user. You've researched quite a bit. Even though you're a cleric, you feel more like a wizard in terms of your knowledge. As you like putting it in, you realize that this ring is gonna cast a spell if you essentially activate it. And you can feel it happening. Do you go through with the activation?
No, I should probably do it outside just to be safe.
Okay, so you stop, you pull your energy back, the ring just feels like a normal ring again. You go outside, you point your ring at the floor, or where you
Yeah.
Okay, so you go outside, you have the ring, you're outside, you start putting your energy again, you get to that same threshold, and you feel like a spell's about to activate. You go through with it this time?
Yes.
Okay, you go through with it, and what ends up happening is the ring. So wait, what are you pointing at? Just a spot on the floor?
Yeah, just a spot, like a blade of grass or a pebble or something.
Oh, blade of grass?
Yeah, I don't know where exactly I am. It's either like a pebble or a blade of grass. One of the two.
You're just pointing at it. You're not like holding it or anything, right?
Yeah, I'm just pointing at it. Like I'm aiming at it in case if there's like a projectile or something, it would hit the pebble. Right.
Okay, you try to activate the spell. And then immediately you feel like this energy come in the space between your hands and then disappear. Whatever spell is supposed to happen, it's a touch range spell. The range is touch.
Interesting. Okay, so then I'll pick up the pebble.
Okay, you pick up a pebble and try again.
Yeah.
So you put in the energy, it's about to activate on the pebble. You go through with the activation of the spell.
Sure.
Okay, you cast the spell onto the pebble, and as the energy flows through, you notice that the pebble just starts glowing. Bright light in about it starts glowing, it starts spreading light, but you're outside, it's bright, so you don't really see how much light it's emitting because everything's bright outside. And the pebble is just now glowing.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
It's still glowing even though like you finished the cast. You want to like wait a bit to see if it ends, or what's your current plan?
I'm going to keep it on my like I'm just gonna hold it with me and bring it back to the library, and I just keep an eye on it to see how long it lasts.
You keep the ring on as you do this?
Do I? Yes.
Okay. So you keep the ring on. You go back to the library with the glowing pebble in your hand.
Yes.
Okay. And then you're back in the library.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm gonna hold on to it in my left hand, and then I'm gonna look at the other stuff while keeping every couple of seconds looking at the
Okay.
at the pebble.
Okay, sure. You'll go through. What do you want to look through next? The dagger or the lantern?
Can you quickly just copy and paste the stuff of the light level for the pebble that you said?
The light level?
You
Yeah.
can test it.
No, he said it. I just need the wording.
Like the range?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna give you the range, then I realized you were outside and you wouldn't be able to tell the range, so I didn't say anything.
I mean, I'm inside now, so.
I mean, you're kind of blocking it, but no, it's fine. It's fine. You'll figure it out in a second, I'm sure. I want to send it to you yet.
Okay.
Okay. So you have a glowing pebble in one hand. You look through dagger or lantern.
We're gonna go on the dagger next.
Okay, let me remember what this does. Hold on. Where is this? Weapons. Okay, so it's a dagger. The dagger is black. The whole thing is black. Like if you're in dark, it's like, have you ever seen those military knives that are black coated?
Yeah.
And they're meant to like not shine. So like if you're in darkness, they're like basically like super hard to see.
Like a matte finish.
Yeah, so like basically in the dark, they're not gonna like reflect any light and then shine and give you away. It's meant to be used as a stealth tool. But looking at it during the day, you can examine it, and you will see. So as you hold the dagger, like flat, or you hold it from the handle, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you hold a dagger, you're looking at it, and then you see the metal. When it's right side up, it just seems to be black. There doesn't seem to be any fancy going on. You'll like maybe move the dagger a bit to the left and right, and you'll see as you move it, it's almost like a black liquid moves along the blade. Kind of like there's a dagger, and then there's a layer of liquid on the outside of the blade of the dagger that, like, when not moving, looks solid. But if you were to touch it, there definitely would be liquid that would like you're certain you'll feel liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Like poison.
Yes, like poison.
How does it taste?
Okay,
You should try cutting yourself to try.
I'm gonna touch. I'm gonna touch it. Touch the liquid.
Okay, so you touched the liquid. Can you make a Constitution saving throw?
Oh my god.
It's okay. I'm good at these. I think. No, I'm not.
I said taste it, not touch it.
That's worse.
But at least you know what it like. It gives you more information, and you have to make a Constitution saving throw anyways.
Yeah, but if you take damage, you're gonna do more. Okay. Since you only touch a little bit, you won't take. You'll touch it. You'll feel that the black liquid is definitely poison. It starts like corroding your skin. and then you pull away.
Corroding or like. Because those are two different things.
Oh, sorry, not corroding. That's sorry, that's corrosive material, right?
Yes.
It'll go along the tip of your finger. You don't get enough too much. It like irritates the skin, but it doesn't like do anything on the skin itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't think this is gonna cause any damage unless like you cut someone with it,
Yeah, that would
This
make
or it
makes
gets
me
inside.
so angry, by the way.
Huh?
So it won't do any damage from just touching the skin, but if it cuts to inside, it'll do damage.
It's like the mom from Spy X Family being murdered a year ago.
What?
The assassin, the other one.
Oh.
He also needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. Her dying is a tragedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much do you know about daggers? Do you have a dagger proficiency?
No, I think I do. I think I swear
Is
everyone
a
has
dagger a simple
proficiency.
weapon?
Yeah, it is.
Simple melee weapons.
So you do have a proficiency?
Yes.
Okay. So again, as you're moving your hand, you felt it. You see that there's clearly a poison on the outside. It's gonna have to hit someone to deal damage. As you're moving it around, as you can tell with you because you've seen a bunch of weapons, swords, daggers, whatever, the make of the blade is really good. Like perfectly balanced and all that other good stuff that blades have. You can't see the edge, but you're sure it's made of a material that can hold its edge very well. It's probably a really good knife, just without the magic on it. So as you hold it in your hand, you can tell that even though you can see the poison, you can see the quality of the knife is really good. It feels more powerful than like just the effects that I described. Like it definitely feels quite powerful to hold, although you're not sure what the effects would do.
Interesting.
Does it make you feel the urge to do anything?
No.
Okay, it's not cursed.
It makes me want to slap Zanji. Does that count? But I always want to do that.
Can you wait
Ooh.
until the full moon? Then I can.
Then you can what? Take poison damage?
Yeah. Wait. No.
Yeah, I'll let you think about that one for a second. Okay. That's probably good enough for now. That's it. Is the rock done shining? I'm still holding on to it with the other hand.
No, it's still glowing.
Okay. Interesting.
You've got the lamp as well.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll look at the lamp and the research notes again. So what do the research notes say about this lamp? How does it
Wait, I
function?
don't know why I made you do a Constitution saving throw. That was kind of misleading. It wasn't gonna damage your skin anyways.
Yeah, I'm like, it's poison. It's not.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake. Yeah. So wait, what are you doing with the research notes?
I'm gonna try to read them and figure out what the lamp does and how to use it.
So we kind of mentioned this already, but I guess I'll go over it. There is research notes for basically creating a lamp that when what was the description I gave?
It absorbs magic from like a light cantrip or something like that.
Yeah, so if you cast a light cantrip on an object, it usually lasts
Cantrip. The ring.
for 1 hour, and then it's gone. So it's like, okay, sure, you gotta do it, and then
I
it requires your
grab the
concentration or
lantern
whatever.
and I try to inject it with the ring. Like after I let go of the pebble, and I assume it does it fade.
You let go of the pebble, like not from your hand.
Yeah, I put it on the table,
It's still going.
and then I don't put magic in the ring. I guess, but or did I already do that?
You already cast. It's not like a constant flow to keep it going. It's just
Okay. So
yeah. It was like you cast a spell. The spell was cast, and then you're literally just wearing the ring and not doing anything with that.
so
And the
okay,
rock
I
is moving.
will. What will I do? I will grab the lantern. Oh no, but then that won't. Okay, I have an idea of what they both do.
Okay,
'Cause
so
they
when
were
you
the
pick
same
up the
thing.
lantern, you can reread the text on it that marks it as like model X number, whatever, and you'll see like on the side it says like what was the number, Chris? Do you remember? 2 hour version?
Let me see here. I believe this is the 2-hour version.
Yeah.
That's the
If it's
final design.
Oh my god. Okay,
The goal is
I'm
8
fairly
hours.
certain I know what the ring and I mean the lamp was pretty. We already knew what the lamp does, but I'm pretty sure I know what the ring is. It just can't cast the cantrip. The light cantrip. Whatever it's called.
So looking through the schematics as well, you'll see that as Chris mentioned a few moments ago, that the final design is he wants to make it effectively last for 8 hours, using a light cantrip to ignite it. Now, a light cantrip is a concentration spell, so you can't cast light on multiple things. But the idea is that it takes the initial energy of the casting being done once, and then it perpetuates it itself. So the person casting light cantrip does not need to actually maintain concentration. So if they get a series of like 5 or 6 lanterns, and only one person who can cast the light cantrip, he can ignite all of them, and they will stay lit on their own. And the goal was to make it last 8 hours, but this current model only lasts 2. Supposedly.
Interesting.
So there was the original like design draft, then there was also the blueprint to try one. This is the one you have before you. You can see that it failed. It only lasts 2 hours, but everything else does. It succeeded in everything else. The only problem was it doesn't last as long as you wanted. And then there's also a design to make to solve that problem, but that hasn't been built. Or yeah, according like on the paper, there's nothing to indicate that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Move on to someone else. I'm just gonna think for a bit. Okay.
Okay. So what did anyone else want to do?
I'm gonna go to the washroom in the meantime. So if I'm not responsive, you know why.
Okay. So while Malka is checking out the ring, the dagger, and the lantern, and going through
How
these items,
long in total did that all take, roughly?
I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes. Not too long.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he just kind of like looked at some stuff, went outside, cast a spell. The only thing that took time was reading the schematics, I guess.
So to summarize, the ring charges the lantern, and the knife is really pog and poisonous.
As of right now, that seems to be the case. If that's all that there is, we'll find out when he continues into the investigation.
Okay.
So after you guys left for breakfast, Malka went to the library to investigate. Who do we want to go to next? Or are you guys sticking together, or what's going on with you three?
So Drainer wants to go snoop onto teachers. We're just gonna go talk to people, but it's a Saturday, so they're not at school, so we can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Would we know whether like
Wait,
Isaac
what?
would be on the premises? Like, are there offices perhaps, would I know where he lived? I don't think so last time when I checked, because
Don't they just live at school? Because this is like one of those big ones, right? It's
So
like
there, as I said last time, the teachers
Yeah,
have
you-
the options to live at school or live in their own family homes, and they can choose to live in either or even swap between the two. You don't know where they would be at any given moment, but that's something you would have to
are
probably
there
figure out if they have a
no
schedule.
the
So,
school would be like dorm, right? So they can't have a family at school.
no,
they'd
Okay.
have
they
to
just
live
have
alone in school.
Okay. So the school would be equivalent of like a military base where you just have like
yeah.
okay.
Where you have your stuff, you have a place to stay if you need it, and then you can like go back to your family to do family stuff. So okay, this isn't explicitly stated, but based on your background, Chris, I don't know if you want to add this as a, like a write it down as an actual feature, but this is supposedly supposed to be something you can do that I kind of just we don't really get into. But your guy does know how to do investigation on his own. You don't have to micro every interaction. You can just kind of be like, can I spend some time getting information on this one thing? And then we can kind of leave your character like to do his thing, and I can tell you what you find out as like a basic um
Oh, that would make things so much easier because
yeah.
I was thinking I needed to like actually go through these conversations.
No, that would take forever, be a waste of time, because as we know, most of police work is actually just talking to people and following up on ends that you know the answers probably no, but you just have to check anyways. So, one, we don't have to go through that, and then two, because your guy already has a lot of experience doing this, like I can literally just hand wave it away. Like in
Would
character, your guy
you
knows exactly what to do.
be able to hand wave my information on curse? Because I was thinking about just raging and then meditating in rage to see if I can control my rat urges.
You haven't even tried meditating normally yet.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah,
I thought
you
I went.
learned how to do it from the library and never actually did it yet.
Oh,
You can actually leave Drainer to do his own investigation, and then you can just spend time meditating if that's something you want to do.
and I think okay. If meditating doesn't I don't actually know. Maybe rage meditating is like dangerous. Can I just go into the forest to explore?
I
Or is
mean,
that
if you,
dangerous too?
it is dangerous, but that is just something you can do. Depends how far in the forest you go. If you stand like close to the castle, you're probably fine. You'll see birds and stuff. This is an E-cross. You're not gonna get ganked by goblins, right?
You can probably
win
take
against
a
a
bunch of
group of
goblins, right?
I have 2 rages left. I can take on 6 goblins. Can we verify that? Can I take on 6 goblins?
I don't know how we verified that. Have you ever killed 6 goblins at once before?
Um,
I guess you haven't
Maybe
when you were
that's
younger,
something.
because when you're younger, there's no way you could have, but you're actually like 3 times stronger than that now, so maybe. Who knows?
I
Okay, so
grew
Chris,
up
can
in
you just
goblin
tell
area.
me what information you want to find out generally?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out right now. I think the first thing is what Isaac's schedule is, if
Okay.
that's even possible.
Okay. Mhm.
Or like where he's been like cited, like generally,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what, like if we see him like show up in like certain places, basic PI work, like
Yeah. Yeah.
what else do I want to do? Mm,
Drainer, do you know all the people who are like upper management or administration? Like how many there are in
I have their, I have their names and what they do.
Oh. Does
Yeah.
any of them sound like someone who like controls which quest? Like if they have a front desk or quest giver or
None of them have that name, unfortunately. Like maybe an administrator or like the assistant administrator, but like
can you tell like the hierarchy or like
oh, actually, yeah, that'd be like I don't know if you can give me that information or if I can like try to figure that out. But like, how does like the office, like the school, kind of find quests, and like what's their whole like workflow for that? I don't know if that's like something easy I can figure out.
Okay,
Like,
you can
how do they
find and
like
get
figure out
information on
where?
that. Sure.
Sure, yeah. Like
Okay.
where people like where they like get like information for like quests, like um who process it, who like who basically like prioritize and like writes up the listings and everything like that, who has like the authority to like approve like certain quests, like just things administrative like that.
I can check that out. The only problem is, for some reason, where the heck are the professors?
How
Where's my?
many professors?
I have a page for this, but I can't find it. I've been actually trying to search for it earlier today too, and I couldn't.
Can you just
couldn't-
like vomit the information to see if we can like place a structure of like the people
No,
who
I know things, but I remember I couldn't find it last time, and then I did like a. Oh my god! Why is this at the bottom? I swear to God, I'm gonna shoot somebody. Okay, I find it. I
who
found it.
did it, who put this on the bottom? Who?
It's okay. This is just like
You
a.
put it on the bottom.
No, I didn't. OneNote
I'm
has
pretty
this
sure I
syncing.
got this.
OneNote has like a syncing problem. I think I showed it to you before, Chris.
Oh
So-
yeah, you did.
And like I'm pretty sure I moved it to a different spot and it just wasn't there, but now I see it. It was just at the bottom and I didn't like think to look down there because I was like, why would it ever be there? Okay, I have it. I understand now. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so positions. Did you what did you want to find?
I wasn't able to find mine either, and I went to the bottom and I found it too. So
Okay. All right, so you start looking at that. Okay, so while you're looking at that, let's let's go to uh uh okay, yeah, so you know that you're gonna investigate that. Anakin, you're gonna do some meditation stuff?
Um,
Or what's your plan?
I don't. I guess I wanted to maybe catch up on. Cooking Club doesn't happen on Saturday, right?
No.
Oh. What can I possibly do? Can I have
You can still go and cook, like
an
just because there's no food
in
doesn't mean the kitchen's
like
not open.
can I
Cooking
have
club
a
members have
multiple
access to the
choice
kitchen.
question?
Okay, well you think about multiple choices. Jay, do you have a plan? Seems like
Yeah.
there's something you really wanted to do in the Magic District all day.
Yeah, so Jay's gonna head to the Magic District and
Okay.
he's gonna look for any hints about his third eye magic.
Not the library, the Magic District?
The library?
Wait, did you already look in the library? Oh, you already did look in the library. True, true, true. Okay, so you
Yeah.
look for the Magic District. Alright, so
I-
explain to me where you're going. Sorry?
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know where I would start. Like, I don't know enough to where I would guess. But I guess I would just, like, make a guesstimate.
You have
So-
problems because so many people are trying to scam people, so there's a lot of fake information.
Yes. It's an incredibly rare piece of thing that false information is more common than the rare information, even though false information isn't a common thing either.
Wait, false information isn't common either?
Yeah. So
Are we
I don't
talking
even-
about
I
like
don't
real
even
life
know where
or?
to begin then.
no, so um let me try to think of something that would be equivalent to this. Because analogies always help, right?
Analogies.
Okay, you know how in certain books, with like supernatural stuff, and in like a book or manga or whatever, the supernatural stuff is actual real. Like maybe Mob Psycho, for example, right?
Sure.
So
Like real and real as in like based on like a story.
yeah, like so in the story world, those like ghosts and stuff do exist.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is, even though the ghosts and stuff do exist, 99% of like haunted houses and like all that EMT stuff and all of that ghost reading stuff is all fake and they're all scams. And the stuff like, for example, the people who make TV shows are all doing that because it's like human psychology creates these situations they can't explain, blah, blah, blah. People turn to ghosts and supernatural stuff. And those situations aren't even real. And actually, that's why people don't believe ghosts are real because, like, psychologically, you can explain away a bunch of this stuff. So everyone who says, "Oh, ghosts are real," or trying to sell you this, they're all trying to scam you. Okay. In real life, that's like that's like what's happening. Okay. But what happens if there was actually ghosts did exist? But of the scammers, one over like 1,000 of these scammers actually could see ghosts. There's no way this guy could explain to you that these ghosts exist or explain to you the right information on how to see ghosts because everyone else that exists is selling you all this false information on ghosts and no one believes them anyways. Right?
Is there so? But in these other medias, there's always the one like guy who like was a small fry and he could barely function in the actual society. So he's like just the foot in the door character. And if you find that guy, he was an ex-member of a big organization of secret people who actually have ghosts and things.
Potentially in some of these worlds that happens. You don't know if there's a thing like that in this world. It could exist, but if it does exist, it's secret and they don't bother to tell anyone because no one's going to believe them anyway. Hypothetically speaking, if that was the case, if there was a secret organization.
I see. Why would they need to keep it secret if third eye magic is so
I don't know where to go then.
So the thing is, you can go around and start asking for people, but this is the equivalent of going up to random people in real life. It's like, hey, do you know anything about like hunting ghosts? Most of the people look at you like you're crazy. And then the people that don't look at you like you're crazy are probably going to sell you misinformation or tell you stuff that's not even true anyways. So you're like in a bit of a pickle here. And this is like an incredibly difficult thing to
What?
figure out what to do.
at least they don't look like you like you're a minority that's in danger to the thing. I don't have information on lycanthropy and people don't even like me. They think I'm criminal. Which I am, but that's not because of the curse.
So then, what do I? Am I supposed to just guess, or do I have a? Do I have like a guess that Jay would make?
Guess that Jay would make.
As a 15 intelligence?
I guess Jay is pretty smart. So let's see. You don't know if you can find information on the outside source. You don't know if you can. You have one benefit to finding the truth that no one else could have done, even people who are smart people, is that you actually are a third eye magician. So what other people say, hey, you should like this is true or this is false, and no one has any way of verifying it, you can actually try these things to see if they work or fail. So you also always have the option to test things, which makes you have the ability to figure things out. Although that would be a really time-consuming thing, but technically you could verify information if you could just keep trying things and eventually you could get the answer. So that would work. It's just not very efficient in time. The other thing is someone did sell you these instructions before and they did work for you, which means that person might know if you can track down that guy. But that was years ago in a different town, in a different city, and you don't have much information on it. You also do know the things you did do to activate your eye. So perhaps rather than figuring out what you're supposed to do, someone figured it out at some point in time. Maybe you can figure it out again.
So I just instead of trying to go find someone to do it, I just am the person.
Maybe.
You become the subject matter expert.
I mean, instead of finding someone to teach you math, if no one knows math in the world, maybe you're the guy who invents it.
Okay, well, do I have to like figure out how to do that? Is that like a roll check?
Um, you can try just saying that you're gonna like experiment with different things, and then I can tell you different processes of what that's going down. Okay.
Okay.
Um. Okay, so let's do some. How would we do this? Okay, so you're gonna be like trying to cast magic, or not cast magic. You're trying to use your magic power and your magic energy and do your stuff. You need to. Okay, you need a place to think. Where were you going? You need a place to think.
Place a thing? Or
Place to
like
Place to
think.
make
think.
Yeah,
To
probably a.
think.
Yeah, or maybe like a private place where people don't bother you.
Okay, I guess I'll go to the inn.
Okay. So you can start heading over to the inn. When you're in the inn, you sit down, start thinking, okay, how am I gonna figure this out? What am I gonna do? Maybe you start thinking like, hey, where is the source of my power even come from? Like, how does it feel when I use magic? Maybe I can figure out like if there's anything, because you did everything except the supposedly the final step. There's like something you're missing to fully complete it, but you already have access to magic, which people thought was the last step. So maybe there's one more step that you're missing, or something else you have to do to activate it, and you got to figure out what that is. So maybe you try to figure out how does your magic work, and if there's an obvious thing um, like if you have like a pipe and water's coming out of the pipe, but it's not actually coming out all the way, and then you realize, hey, there's a valve here, and then you turn that valve and it comes out all the way. So maybe it's something like that. So you can start like uh just moving magic energy in your body and doing all some crazy stuff. Give me an arcana check.
Arcana is +2. R D20 20 +2.
Okay. um I'm gonna have you make one of these checks like every hour. Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so that's 1 hour. You're doing your thing. Okay, Malka. I mean, Anakin. What deck are you doing?
Um, well,
Just,
I
we,
want to make progress with my rat. So
okay.
I guess I would. I looked into the library and there was no information. So, what is? Can I know like the general
What do you mean there was no
consensus?
information? I gave you so much information when we went into the library.
Wait, the library for like lycanthropy?
Yeah.
Wait, was it written down?
Yeah, you read information. I gave you stuff. This is what rats do. This is what rare rats do. Blah, 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 blah. People can help you control the power. But the actual information on stuff, how to do it, is within the secret organization, because where rats usually bite other were rats and convert them within like a criminal organization.
Wait, what? Where was the part where I like would learn how to control? Is that how the meditation happened?
They also had stories of like people who didn't have anyone to teach them. Just after the period of several full moons, they got control over it. It just like one solution is time. If there's other solutions to do it faster, you don't know, but that is one thing that will happen.
I see. So, what would my character do with this information now to progress my?
god, that's what happened.
Magic District, listening to w- things happening, and then see if I don't know, there were like small children around. I'll just give them a gold piece each, I guess. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I'll do that for like an hour, then I'll go back to the inn and meditate.
Okay. So you'll
Oh, I
just
don't
go.
think an hour, right? There's just a lot of people around this thing, right?
I mean, you'll walk around. You can definitely find like just kids walking around doing stuff throughout, like even the residential
Well, I don't know
areas.
about kids walking around. You know those ones that look like they have maybe, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, some kids that seem like they should be given money, and then I'll
Oh,
give.
so you're going to the poorer neighborhoods.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Okay, so you go towards the outer areas of town where there's a bunch of poor people everywhere. You'll go to find some kids. You give them 1 gold each.
How much gold do I have? 6. I guess I'll give them. How much gold do I even need to like survive? I paid food for a week. Did I pay for this week or next week's?
Last week.
Last week. So I need at least like one more gold piece to like survive the week.
I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to make that money. You can find some work, right?
Oh, okay, sure. I guess I'll just give like 6 different like kids gold, like 6 of them. Then I'll just be like 0 gold.
I don't know if there's exists such a thing as willpower checks, but I guess
Now
that
that
would
I'm
be like
saying this, I'm taking real life mental damage. I have 0 gold. That's crazy.
okay. Give me like wisdom saving throw, I guess.
Wisdom saving throw. Wisdom. What is a wisdom? Stats? Wiz plus 2? Okay.
Okay, you give them the money, and internally, when you're giving away, you're taking that mental damage IRL, but also there's this like this as you're but like when you take the money out, there's like this compulsive feeling in you to like just like snatch it back and put it in your pouch right away.
And steal from
As
the kids. Yeah, I have this like flinch of pickpocketing them. Oh my god,
and
you're right.
you but every time you manage to let go and put the money away and hold that compulsion back, and you can see that it's making you like you don't notice it right away, even though you notice it when you're giving them the money. There's like this compulsion not to do it. It goes away after you do it. You do 1, you do 2, you 3, you do the 4, but you notice by like the 5th and 6th one you're just like overall more irritable, and you notice yourself feeling this way, and as you notice it, you try your best to have it not affect your actions, and you're able to keep it under control. But you definitely notice that it's a hard thing for you to do, harder than it should be even for you under normal circumstances.
Okay, I guess I spend 6 gold pieces.
All right, still cheaper than drugs.
I was about to buy drugs. Like LSD just to like, go on the trip of like self-discovery, but now I can't afford it anymore because it's 3 silver pieces.
Okay.
Don't worry, we'll be making money soon.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's go back to Anakin now. Malka now. Malka, have you are you here? Is he not here?
Oh, and also, but for the hour, I'm not just like walking around. I'm like getting to know the kids and talking to them. That's how I decide stuff.
Only the worthy will get this gold piece, and you make them fight for it.
Uh, yes. I was just gonna ask them about how life is, how they're doing, and then at the end of the conversation, I just give them a gold piece and then bid them adieu, and maybe I'll come back. I don't know. Did they tell me infinite interesting information?
They just seem
Uh-huh.
overjoyed. A lot of people thinking you're a thing. Then thank you, sir. Thank you, Mister.
Oh.
Blah, blah,
Okay,
blah,
I
blah,
am
whatever it
here
looks like.
now.
Okay.
Okay, so I need a quick rundown of how Drainer went.
Of what?
Like what Drainer did. Did we do his?
He's basically out seeking information right now. I have yet to give him the report of his findings.
Okay, and Tori's?
Tori is like doing some mystic magic jumbo,
Or
trying to
he's on
figure
a
out.
self-discovery journey.
Oh,
There you
right,
go.
the third eye. Okay.
I want to go hang out with kids and give them money.
So based off the notes, so the notes I have are strictly the notes on the lantern, correct?
Well, you have notes on like all the schematics and stuff, but yeah, you do have notes on the lantern.
So what are the other like schematic stuff?
One was basically a carriage that operated on magic batteries. One was essentially a stone mini fridge. What else were the other stuff?
So we have the lantern, the stone box fridge. We have that podium that radiates energy and grows plants and trees
Yeah.
around like a tablet kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Okay.
There's a carriage that's powered by spell slots. The magic battery that powers it. I think that's about it.
What about the research notes on the facility? Do we take those, or are they still in the thing place?
Were there
You
research
grabbed
notes?
those. I think you grabbed those.
I think I grabbed all the
notes?
everything in the chest, pretty much.
Can I start? Is it possible to start looking into what they were researching there, like what the zombies and stuff were used for, and the gas?
So again, all the research has nothing to do with the zombies. Right. So if you remember, they had all the research notes that seem to do with all this other stuff that built upon other things.
There was that one book thing about
Yeah, there was like a few books on necromancy, and it seemed to be something. They were far newer than all the other books, and they seem to be something that happened out of all that, and it's not really related to any of the experimental stuff that he was doing. Well, I guess that was going on.
Okay, is it possible? Okay, looking at the research notes for the 8-hour version, right?
Yeah.
Like, so what does it say specifically? Like the difference between the 2-hour and the 8-hour version?
Some
Body.
physical differences in the lantern. Also a lot more like, oh, I gotta change this magical circle thing here and do this magical circle thing here to create this part in the magical blah 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 blah.
Interesting. Okay, so that's impossible for me to like try to like make it right.
Oh no, it's possible. It is possible.
Okay.
It's like a Sudoku where it's complicated to figure out the answer, but it's very easy to verify if an answer is correct.
Okay. So what would I need in order to try and make it the 8-hour version?
Well, you would need the metal and everything, and someone to make it per the specification. Which basically is just a bigger, heavier, fancier lantern. because it would be so heavy and big, it probably wouldn't be as effective for use of someone holding it around because it's just like very cumbersome. But it would work really well for like say hanging it up in place of like a torch or something in like rooms and houses or buildings. So you won't have to use like midnight oil for like
Wait.
doing research late into the night.
The lights in the facility, were they lanterns or were they like crystals?
In the forest?
You
Or
can't
the
turn
walls?
a torch on and off, right?
Wait, the light switch thing, right?
Yeah.
So the
Is that-
regular walls and hallways had torches, but the actual what is it called? The actual like forest area, you weren't able to identify where the light was coming from.
You say torches, like fire torches?
Yeah,
How did they ignite when we pushed a button?
they didn't. The torches you ignited yourself with your torch.
No.
we
In the observation rooms.
In the observation rooms, there was torches along the outside that you lit, and then you pushed a button to. Oh, hold on, let me drag the map. You'll see, understand them when I move the map. So this room, is it still light or is it dark?
Oh, dark.
Everything is dark. Yeah, let me just reveal this area for a second. So when you
Where is this area? Bottom left? Oh, that area. Okay. Yeah.
remember when you reveal this, those
Oh,
red stuff, those are torches.
Yes, that is true.
So you did that, and then the button you pushed made the light in the central area basically bright. But there was already a little bit of, even when the light switched off, there was already a little bit of light coming from the central area. If you
Okay.
recall.
So, the 2-hour version.
Yes.
How does the 2-hour version, like the one I actually have, it's like a regular. Okay, so can you describe like how it looks compared to a regular lantern? Like the differences.
Okay, you know how that one thing that like stone box I was like describing it, and then I just said F it, it's a mini fridge.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do the same thing here. I'm describing this as a lantern, but F it, it's a street light.
What?
but like the size of it is like at the moment not big enough
Like,
to be
it's
a street light,
big.
right?
No, this is pretty big.
The current 2-hour configuration of it,
No, it's
because we're able to carry it around, right?
yeah, it's huge. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that it's huge.
Oh, I thought it was the same size as a. Okay.
So
would've
like
been weird
rather
for me
than
to
a
have to lug around.
lantern, think of just the top half of this. Like it's really big and thick.
So it's just an oversized lantern.
Yes. That's why I said it's not good for carrying around, but it makes sense to like put on the wall or whatever. But essentially, it's like you hang it in your wall, you cast it, it stays lit, it does its thing. Like theoretically, what you could do is you could put a bunch of these down along. Like I thought you could see like
No,
theoretically.
no,
you just go down
I know where you are going with it, but I'm thinking for a different use. I'm thinking if I can make a smaller version, but for less amount of
So-
time. Like if I could make like half the size for like an hour.
So creating based on the specifications, easy enough to do. You can do it. To simplify or change the design, you would need to like spend time to like create new designs for this.
Yeah. I think it, okay, that's gonna be a side project. It's 100% a
But
side project.
Theoretically, if you wanted to like make these, you could just go to a guy, have him make the physical components,
Yeah, the
and then you
frame,
could do
and
the
then
magical
basically just do the-
enchantment
Yeah, just make
you
it.
could do the magical enchantments yourself, or you could pay someone else to do magical enchantments themselves as well. It would probably require like a spell slot to like create one.
No. You do that, and they basically have knowledge of how to make this thing.
Yeah, so you could just like make them and sell them and make money. You could just sell the blueprints for a lot of money. But
No.
yeah,
We're going macroeconomics, dude. That's the plan.
We're gonna do a startup.
Yeah, our startup. We already have like the facility for it. We have
yeah,
the wood
stolen
production.
technology.
Yeah, we have the wood production for whatever reason.
Just start selling mini fridges and street lights.
Yeah, man. And oh my god. And here's the way to bring it all together. Because we're selling it, we sell it to other places, and then we use the thing carriages to save on costs.
Ant carriages?
No, one of the schematics
the
was
spell courage.
yeah, it was a spell
Oh.
carriage where it runs not on like thing.
It runs on magic instead of horses.
Dude, it legit sounds like they were trying to make a startup.
Okay, BRB 5 minutes using washroom.
Okay, so I guess that plan's out of the window.
What plans out of the window?
I was gonna think of trying to create the 8-hour version or reproduce a 2-hour version. But given the context, it doesn't make much sense, right? Because it's not really portable. It would require a lot of time investment, and right now we're short on time, and that's why I'm saying it's like not even a
So
side
we have
project.
to survive the apocalypse, so that we can.
Yeah,
Because-
once we finished with the main plot, this is the side story, right?
No, this is the side story. The real main plot is the.
Wait,
House of
why-
Takeover.
Why were they making like who was making these?
That's a topic for when we're together. Okay, so I basically have yeah, okay, so I'll go and look for a book on the ants, because I guess that would be my next course of action.
Yeah, I'm back.
What?
I'm back.
Okay, so my next course of action would be to look for my monster book on the ants specifically.
Sure. Do you want to just like go through all the schematics and everything? Well, I guess you would have to see if you can understand it and see if you can make it yourself. So that's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna check out ants after that.
I mean,
before we go to the...
I mean, more specifically, so all most of the schematics, I'll skim over just to get a gist of what they are. I won't look into it, but like the 8-hour and the 2-hour ones, I'd like look into a lot more to see if it's like reproducible.
Are you sure you'd be able to in character? That your curiosity wouldn't make you be like, okay, this is so sick. How does these other stuff work?
That's a good question. Okay, yeah, you're probably right. I'd be like, okay, what the heck is this? Oh my god, they do this? Whoa, that's insane. Yeah, you're probably
Okay.
right. You're probably right. I didn't think
Okay.
about it like that.
Okay, now we go to back to Anakin. So Anakin, your thing was quick. You found some kids, you gave them money, now you're broke. What's your next stage of your plan?
The touching conversations and the emotional connections. Is that just hand wave too?
No, I'll be honest.
It's
Especially
just
knowing your
minimize these
character,
accomplishments.
it like reminds you back in the day when you were a kid and like some merchant, like you go back, you have like flashbacks. Like when you were a kid one time, there was that one merchant, you were chilling, he was like selling some toys and stuff, and then you wanted one, your dad couldn't afford one back in the day, and then you were always just like waiting by the stall and watching the other kids play, and you couldn't buy one yourself, but you were just kind of watching. Not every kid could afford it. Some could, some couldn't. But you were really into this one toy, right? And you're just watching. And then eventually the day came. The merchant, he stayed there for a week. On the last day, he was gonna leave. He was packing up and going. And then you kind of were chilling, and you were gonna like just to see like if anyone else would buy anymore. And the merchant, he calls you over, and you're like, "What? What's going on?" And then you're like, "Yo, I swear I didn't do anything wrong." And then when you come over, he's like, I see you've been watching this the whole time. I don't need these anymore." And then he gives you like the last three toys of your stock, and he gives it to you. And he said, "Give these to the rest of your friends," and then he dips. And then you remember that time, and you're like, "Dude, that guy is the coolest dude ever," and how thankful you were. And then you go back to giving these kids money, and you see the exact same face that they have that you probably had when you were given that toy.
And now he starts to think, wait, the merchant was a rat the whole time.
Yep.
Oh.
Then your rat paranoia kicks in, and you're like, "Was that guy a were rat?"
So that's why I was so irritated. My rat senses were tingling, and I just felt another presence of rat. I see.
So that being the case, what
Okay,
would you like to
well,
do?
I guess would I remember the names of the kids and their life stories and whatnot?
Oh, the kids that you're talking to right now?
Yeah,
Oh, you know what? You know what? Maybe he just gets
'cause that's
swept
been
up
an
in the
hour,
moment,
right?
and you just start asking them questions about their lives and everything, and they just telling you like, "Oh, this is my mom." They start introducing your families. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is blah 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 blah. We used to hang out here. We play this." Just hang out with the kids for like a while. Just like learn about them, see what they're up to, and then they teach you their games they play. You play some games with the kids, and some of the kids are like, "Who's this old guy?" But all the kids seems ecstatic to play with them. So you're just like, "Whatever, I'll play with them too. I don't want to be left out." And then everyone's playing, and you're like playing like you're just playing kids games with all these kids and you're having a good time. All right, that definitely will take some time. So we can go back to Jay. Jay, make me another roll.
A R R D 20 plus 2.
Okay, sick. Okay. So you're going through, you're checking out your magics, you're doing some stuff. You're like, okay, let's see, how does this work? You're moving stuff around, and you're like, first hour, you're like, okay, I'm understanding where this is going on. Might take me a little bit, but then something just clicks, and you're like, oh my god, dude, I get it. I know how this works. This is just like a magic pipe thing. And you can do your thing, you control your magic, you do your thing, and you're like, wait, what's this? What's this little thing inside my magic thing inside my brain that's like a thing I can emotionally understand, but I don't really understand. It's like this like there's like a it's like this knot is here or something. So you start like looking into it, and you're like, oh, this isn't a knot. This is just like an inefficiency thing. It's like I had a bunch of thread, and then I put it together, and I made a blanket. But even though I made a blanket, it's now just like wrapped up into a ball, and I need to like unfurl it and make it flat. And then everything will be super efficient, and all my powers will be fully realized. I just need to like force this blanket flat. And you realize the only way to do this is you just need to start spamming some magic power at this blanket, and it'll start uncurling. So, would you like to expend your spell slots to achieve this feat?
Oh,
Does he even have spell slots?
I do. I have. Let me check.
So you have a
I'm sorry.
few options here. You can use spell slots. You can use level 1 or level 2. You can use your glimmer spell. Oh no, you don't have that. Or you could use sorcery points. You have three different sources of not sources, but three different like constructs of magic. You don't know which one's more efficient. You don't know if one's more efficient and the other's more faster, or what the idea is. But you can try either of these three things.
Okay, I'll start with a sorcery point. Yeah.
Keep in mind, it's 1 hour per attempt. So even if it's
Oh my god. So it's fine. -1.
actually an hour seems like a crazy long time. Should it be half an hour? Yeah, you know what? Okay, you know what? I lied. It's not even an hour per attempt. It's 15 minutes per attempt. That an hour makes no sense.
Okay, I'll start with the sorcery point then.
All right. So 15 minutes in.
Okay, I'm back. None of the children told me any rumors about any sus things going on.
I mean, I guess I could let you know of rumors and sus things, but I think they're all just playing games and stuff. Why would they tell you that when they haven't you
I
that
don't
it's
know,
super?
like kids on the street, they just hang around. They see suspicious figures walking around.
Okay, you
They're
know
in a
what? You know
bad
what? You
neighborhood.
know what? You know what? You know what? I got one for you. I thought of one, and I figured I might as well tell you. I could have created another one, but I'm just gonna tell you about Kingdom Morning. But I'll do that. Uh,
I
uh, um, how much? When you use your sorcery points, how much sorcery points turns into one level spell slot?
uh, you can expend 1 spell slot and gain a number of sorcery points. You can transform into 1 spell slot. Yes. No, wait, sorry, wait. 2 spell slots is 1 sorcery? No, the other
Should
way
we
around.
two
1,
sorceries, one level one, and how many sorcery for a level two?
2 is 3. 3 sorcery points for 1 level 2. 5 for 1 level 3. Not that I have any 3rd level spots. I also only have 4 sorcery points. Anyways.
Okay. Okay, so you use one single sorcery point, and you feel like you get like one like what's the number, like 4% of the fold unfolded.
4%? 4%? That's so little.
You have some time. What else would you like to try?
Okay, I guess I'll use. Dang, I'm not gonna use everything right before the thing. How many more do I?
You can use more than one sorcery point at a time. You could try a level one spell slot. You could try a level two spell slot.
Okay, I'll use 1 level 2 spell slot.
Okay, one level two spell slot. 15 minutes. A nice blast to your mental blanket. You feel like that was about like 20%. So you're at like 24% there.
Wow. Wait, is that 20%? Okay. This is Wait a sec. Okay, I will use an. Dang. I'll use another level 2 spell slot. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, use another level 2 spell slot. Your blanket starts unfolding even further. You're about like 44% of the way there.
Now, is there anything I'm able to do at 44% unfurl? Like, is it just inefficient or can I not do anything?
And you not do anything. Like, do you try to like open your third eye when the process is incomplete?
Oh.
I don't know. It's a question. I'm not saying anything bad will happen. I'm just saying maybe you can just like flexing a muscle. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
there's
gonna
dangerous
try to.
repercussions. I don't know.
Squinting with your third eye because it's not fully open.
Well, we don't know what it is. Should I flex? Or should I wait? What if I like just a little flex? Yeah, I'll flex a little bit. Yeah, I'll flex.
Try to like peek with an eye. You try to peek.
Yeah. Just like the tiniest. Yeah.
Okay, well. Now this is where things get pretty wild, if you will.
Huh?
Give me
What?
1 second.
Am I looking at
Wait, what are you looking at?
a bunch of cards?
Someone doing something? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna choose to ignore that while I figure something out.
Huh?
Sorry, just give me like a few moments. Talk amongst yourselves.
I was looking at a different tab, and then he's like, "Let's see what you see." And I look back, and there are a bunch of cards. So I thought I was like hallucinating.
You are
So
hallucinating.
you are seeing things no one else is seeing.
No, you can see the cards too.
No, you're hallucinating.
Now you're gaslighting?
What?
Halogen gaslighting?
What?
There's some gas that are called halogens, and they are, I think, noble gases.
Do I die here?
Dying would be
Yeah, I'll be sent. I'll become Vecna.
what? He didn't die. He was reverse summoned.
Okay. Okay. I got it. 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 Okay. I got it. Don't worry. I got it. Okay. So when you try to like peek with this eyeball, okay? Just a tiny little crack. As if like you know how you're like pretending to sleep, but then you like lift your eye just a little bit so you can like see, but your
Yeah.
eyes are look like they're closed. You like
Yeah.
get that little bit of vision. And in that little bit of vision, you see haha. All right. So in one moment, you see like an image where everything's like red, on fire and like smoky. But then it turns into In another moment, it's like a silvery fog that looks like you're in like an entire ocean, but it's like fog. But then in another moment, you're into a place where uh wait, how does this dimension?
Wait, are you teleporting to a different place, or does the area we're currently in turn into a different terrain? Like it turns into the upside down when things turn out.
What?
It's still like the same place, but it's just like a different version of the same place.
There's
Oh.
you see all of these things. You see like a place of like rock. You see like different like elemental planes. You see like lightning and like floating in the sky where there's no ground. You see like places where these elements clash together. You see like misty seas. You see a lot of crazy stuff really really quickly, and it's just like really fast. And it hurts your head, and within like a second of just seeing all these things just like blast in your like tiny bit of vision, you like close your eyes out of reflex.
I open them and I have a nosebleed.
No, you don't have a nosebleed, but like your head, like it feels like an eye hurts, an eye in your brain hurts. Like it's not like a headache. It feels like your eye hurting, but it feels like it's in your head.
Interesting. Uh, what happens if I do it again?
Do you want to do it again?
How much does it hurt? Does it feel like I'm
Uh,
taking like? Mhm.
it. I don't know. It feels. It doesn't feel good. It definitely doesn't feel good. You want to do it again?
Yeah,
All right.
but this
Yeah.
time I focus on the image of like Malkaw.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my
so you
god, we're
try
gonna
to you
send
try to
him.
think of Malcott as you peek your eye just a slightly bit again. But when you crack it open just a little bit again, you same stuff happens, different order. It's not like the planes are going in the same order. There's like different planes. Different planes. Some of them aren't even like the same ones you've seen before, because there's like seems to be a lot of them. You see so much different stuff. Some like that, and as these images flicker in your head really quickly, you can you kind of hear the sounds of each of the planes, but it comes and goes so fast that you can't make out what you're hearing. But each plane sounds different. There's a completely different like
Oh, so it's like a
atmospheric
spirit box.
atmospheric sound to all of them. Uh, and then also not just sound, but also like feeling. There's like a slightly different feeling as you look at each and every one of them, and as the feelings, as the images pass by really quickly, like over the span of like a quarter of a second, you see like 35 different ones. You also feel those like rush of feelings super quickly, like so fast you don't really know what you're feeling, but you know you just felt something. Um, and then again, the same like instinct to close your eyes, your mental eye starts hurting, and like the moment you opened your eye a bit, you totally forgot about Melka and you just saw a bunch of stuff, and then you closed it, and then you forgot about Melka. Can you make a Constitution saving throw?
Oh no.
Wait, did you
That's
just roll a
crazy.
20?
Yeah, that's another 20.
Okay. Your mental eye starts hurting a bunch more, but like you're chilling. It's just pain. It's just pain. No, it's just pain. No problem.
I'm doing okay. It just hurts a bunch. Okay. Well, so
We're
now
gonna
it's
cause a
hurting
Vecna
more.
to happen.
Yeah, it's hurting a lot more.
Oh, okay, so
Um,
I am in pain. I just don't feel like I'm dying. It just hurts.
it's like you know how you have like vertigo?
Huh?
It like when you have like vertigo or something where it like feels awful, but like it's like a discomfort that's almost sounds like some level. It's like a sometimes you get like discomfort that feels like pain, but it's not actually pain. You know what I'm talking about, ever?
I can imagine.
Like if your like entire sense of balance is effed up, or like your, I don't know, your digestive system is effed up, or like your body's basically like not working, and it doesn't like hurt, but everything just like is not working to the point where it kind of hurts, but it's not actually hurting. It's just like so uncomfortable it like feels like it hurts,
Oh,
kind of.
okay.
You're kind of
Sure.
like there where you're like, yo, I'm gonna like either pass
Like,
out, throw up, or fall down or something. And it like I feel like I can't focus a bit, but like you're not actually like physically having your problem.
okay. Okay. Now the question is, should I use another spell slot? Um,
Wait, what
um,
happens if you use a spell slot?
Your J will advise you to like chill for a bit to Tori.
yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. This point, should I just rest? Uh,
I mean, you can just sit down in the bed for like a few minutes to see how you feel and then decide what to do from there.
okay. I think what I'm gonna do is actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I was about to send my owl to go give a note to Malcolm, but the note was gonna be something stupid, so I'm just gonna not do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rest.
Okay, well, Jay starts chilling. We have our good friend Drainer. You know, he's coming back with some facts. So
The real reason Jay didn't send the note is because he knew that Malka would make fun of him for the note.
is
I'm
that the real?
going. You'll rue the day. Watch when I get my third eye.
He's like, I can't show any weakness. This guy's will pounce on me like a
When they
goddamn
get their
hound.
third eye, they'll side eye you 3 ways.
Yeah, and I'll just ignore it 3 ways.
You can't. It's side eye into your mind.
Hey man, he's just 3 times more irrelevant.
Okay, so Drainer. So how they go about doing their stuff is usually people make um they send a bunch of quests to, or like requests to the school, like, hey, here's some stuff, can we have someone at whatever duet. They have a certain cost associated with it. They give like, oh yeah, we'll give this much money, blah blah blah. They go through the random question procedure as they normally do with any other guild. They'll like mark the difficulty and all that stuff to have like some basic information, figure out it's a credible source, all that other stuff. There is a few extra things that have to be done because their children involved, and that they're a little more strict on some of the people who can submit quests. Like you can't just be like a random person submitting a thing to the Glimmarch. That's why it tends to be the case that most of the people there are residents of the city, just so they can have that extra verification process go through. Um, but then what will end up happening is to figure out who's doing which quest. They will have like a meeting at the once a week where they kind of figure it out ahead of time. Um, so they all in the on the quest paper, I guess you haven't seen one yet, but an example what one has like a danger level. So based on the danger level, it's grouped into certain categories already, and they can't go to certain levels if they're too dangerous or not dangerous enough. Um, and then afterwards, they just have a meeting with all the professors and the administration, the administrator, the head of the administration. Like those guys just come together, they talk, and then amongst themselves, they kind of divvy up the quests as appropriate. Each class takes the required number based on the amount of people they have. Um, if there are more than one options for that specific difficulty level, then uh then either they'll pass it to like a higher class. So for example, if it's like class D has like 7 quests for it and they only have able to do like 5, maybe the extra 2 they'll give to class C or something. They'll just move it up. But if there's extra quests, which kind of always end up happening, then either they will hold off on those till the next week, if possible, or they'll just say that they're unable to do it, and then they'll hand it out to other guilds to like finish off and do. And in some rare circumstances, not common, but has been done before, is a professor might just do a thing on his own if it seems like important enough for the things Glimmart's reputation to get it done, and they don't feel like a student needs to do it, and blah 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 blah. So that could be a thing that happens as well. So most of the decision of who goes where is done with like a meeting with the professors.
Is it all the professors?
Yeah, all the professors are there, so they all have input into which thing goes where.
So teacher Isaac chose the Griffin.
Hold on. I'm just getting all the information down.
Are we looking at Rapson?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just trying to give Chris his information.
You want me to rap? Hey yo, it's fire because we're lit, and it's a bit going on long because we're not wrong about.
So another thing, so you also wanted to know about like
Woo.
Professor Isaac's schedule. He actually spends most of his time Glimmart's building itself. He is unmarried, so he doesn't like have a to go back to.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like what?
So he doesn't like have a reason to go to the residential. Like he doesn't have a family to go like visit or whatever.
Oh.
Like, he still goes to visit like his like father and like uncles and whatever, like other family, but like no direct family. He seems pretty like a hard worker within the school itself. So a lot of professors, they have like other activities that they do, and they don't really like, they do the school stuff, they teach the school stuff, but they also have like, hey, I'm gonna do this other thing, or like this one project I'm doing or whatever, right? Like they have their other things that they personally want to do, and they have time to do those things. It seems like Isaac focuses a lot more of his efforts on even outside of class and all of that with school related stuff. So he's pretty much spends a lot of his time, even when he's free at school, doing things. And as you're like asking about to find information like this, you'll also hear that Isaac was before, like he used to teach a different class. They got more professors, and they wanted to make a class F, but they're like, who would teach these students? No one really wants to teach students that week or whatever and shut them over. But Isaac was like, yo, you know what? I think this could work. I'll do it myself. So he went, and that's why he went to class F, and he's teaching them. But then over the last the last year or so, that they tried to make it happen, and it didn't really work so well. And then he kind of got demotivated for the success of it. And recently, over the last 3 weeks or so, it seems to be probably with his current class, the people there have been performing pretty well, and he seems to be that like hopeful teacher again.
Ooh.
We used to teach a different class. Do you know what class you taught before?
Like the year before, or like before class F?
Or F? I guess it really doesn't matter. Like, how capable would he have been? to teach?
He's a pretty solid teacher. I would say, considering some of the other professors, in terms of like, hmm, it, in terms of in his field as like an adventurer or whatever, he's probably weaker compared to the other dudes, but he's really good at teaching compared to the other people.
Okay. Not so much an adventurer, but more of a professor, more of a teacher.
Not to say he's not a respected adventurer in his own right, but like the professors are pretty good, and of the ones that they have now, a lot of the other professors are a lot more capable in that sense.
Okay. And general consensus of the people that I've talked to, pretty hardworking, pretty
A pretty
dedicated.
hardworking and passionate teacher.
Yeah, dedicated to the process.
Mm-hmm.
Spends a lot of time at the school, huh?
Yeah.
Any leads to, like, where he might hang out a lot of the times?
Outside of Glimmarts or at Glimmarts?
At Glimmer specifically.
He talks to um he seems to like be everywhere. Not everywhere, but like he seems to like uh not necessarily involved, but want to know what's happening with like everything that's happening, and if there's ever something that like he can do or like there's a problem, he'll be like the first one to like be like, oh, I'll just take care of that. Even like outside of teacher responsibilities, when it comes to like administration and things of that nature, like he'll help out doing that. Or if like, oh, a student has a special request to do a certain thing, they're not sure if they're able to make it happen, he'll be like, oh, I'll take care of this thing so that student can do that thing. If any teacher is unavailable to like do a thing, like teach a class or do a club activity, he's like the one that always will like substitute for every other teacher too, so they can do their thing, and the club doesn't get canceled for that day.
Okay. I don't know. This is okay. That's good information.
He's either really good a person or a really good actor who's going above and beyond to make people think that he can't be the guy. Because
Nobody thinks he's the guy?
what? Balcall thinks he's the guy.
Yeah, but that's because he came here solely to investigate that specific thing.
Oh.
And nothing like in particular that he's like actually working on any like particular project, because you said he was kind of jumping around the place all the time and
there
working.
could be stuff he's doing, but like whenever he's at school, he's always talking about school related stuff, so no one knows too much about like what he does in his like personal time, I guess.
I guess I don't have any leads on how I would be able to find him on a weekend.
On a weekend, I mean, you could. I mean, you could just you could just try like the administration office and just like ask him.
Ooh,
if he's not actually in the building, the people might know if he's working on something school related for someone else. So then they might just like be able to redirect you.
Okay, that's a good place to start then. Okay, I think that's enough information. I think if we really need to like get information, we have to talk to him.
So I think that's all for everyone's for those 2 hours of time. It should roughly be like 10 a.m. now, and I think we're gonna end our session here. I'm just gonna write 10 a.m. Like I'm.
Quest information is kind of interesting as well. Oh, can I clarify something about the whole questing stuff?
Sure.
So information is being sent from, I guess, someone that needs help. Because it's Glimmerarts, it's a bit more strict. They go through a better like verification system and kind of approvals and whatnot. They meet once a week, and when I say they, that is the professors that meet once a week to decide what the danger levels are.
No. The danger levels are assigned ahead of time based on the danger levels and stuff like that. They figure out which classes to go to.
Okay, so who assigns the danger levels?
There's like a entire like process outside of the school for when people have requests to figure out what level it is. It's like external to all the guilds.
Okay, it's like a regulatory body or something.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Cool. And then they have a meeting. They decide for that week, based on the danger levels, which class it should go to. And then and then it goes to administration, or the head of administration, to divvy up the actual quests to the classes.
No. The head of administration is also in the meeting with the professors.
Oh, okay.
So they like basically like record it and note it, but they take the this would make sense to you once you do 1 week, but like in character, like on Mondays, the rest of the party is familiar with this. On every Monday, like they go to class and they check the back of the board, and then on the back of the board there's like the quests available for that week to do, and you're supposed to take one. So those papers, they like each professor.
What? Why did I?
The head of administration would have a record of it, like meeting notes or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're also.
Why do I just randomly get kicked out of Discord? Did I just not talk enough or something?
It's probably Eddie, my guess.
What? Isn't that against
No,
the
I
law?
get the notification that I got disconnected. Like, it's like, oh, you're inactive. You got disconnected.
Oh. I guess. I don't know. So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the meeting minutes are written by the admin, and then who physically puts the papers on the quest board?
At the end of the meeting,
Yes.
each of the professors take the papers for the quest that they're assigned to their grade, and then they put it up on their quest boards on the Monday. So they'll probably have them in their office for like the few days from the meeting to the Monday, because every Monday is when you grab your quests.
And when is the meeting, usually?
It's usually on like Thursday or Friday, or in like special circumstances, like even Saturday, but usually like Thursday or something.
So they would put it on the board, and then on Monday we would go and see the board.
They would hold on to it until the Monday and then put it on in Monday.
Okay. There's a few places where, so the quest was put up by Isaac, correct? Or actually, I guess we don't know that.
No, we know who was put up by us by Shendo, right? Shendu?
Who gave you like who gave the like quest as a quest to do? Yeah, you like the client, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, but like, okay, yeah, we know who the client is, like the person who gave the actual quest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the quest had shown up on Class F's board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is done in a meeting. So for example, in like a meeting, some guy could be like, oh, I don't think your class should do that. I don't think that class is good for you, or maybe this quest is good for this person. You should do this one, I'll take this one, and that way we'll balance this. It's like a group discussion, so it's not one person deciding it, but everyone has a bit of influence to like make decisions. uh,
Yeah, so is it possible for all the professors to be on this? Or is it more likely that like someone like fudged the like one of the papers? Because the decision of the actual danger level, like, and I haven't seen any of these quest papers before, but like the danger level, like is it
oh, okay,
written
okay.
like
I should
printed on
explain
like the
this
paper?
as well. So first week of class, what ended up happening is I showed an example of this so they could learn from someone else doing it. As another group goes and does a quest, right? But when they do the quest is like, hey, I want you to kill like these like 5 things. But when they got there, when they were like, when they fought the 5 things, they found a tunnel that led to like another 20 things. So when they see that tunnel, they're like, "Oh, this is like 3 times more dangerous than what it says on the paper." When that happens, rather than like, "Oh, I'm just gonna like clear the cave," you're supposed to return back and be like, "Yo, this is a harder difficulty." Blah blah blah. Go through the entire process, and then you can like either get approval to do it yourself, or they'll get people to help you with it if they don't think the danger level is suited for you. Blah blah blah. And there's like an entire thing you're supposed to do if the danger level is higher than what the paper says. Um, Based on incomplete information. So they decided, nah, we're gonna just do it ourselves. They tried to fight the 20 dudes. They kind of got wrecked, and they got yelled at, like, "Hey, you're not supposed to do that." Blah blah blah. So it could be the actual danger level of the thing is higher than what's written, and someone knows that, but the person reporting that doesn't know that. So the level is a lot lower. Um, yeah, so that could be a thing that happens, and it's on the people like deciding which quest to do to be like, okay, is there enough information for me to think this might be harder than it is, or does this seem safe? So that's also something you're supposed to judge a little bit yourself, and if it's not, you're supposed to return. So for like the Griffin quest, they were supposed to only have found like one Griffin, they found three. And yeah, so there was like, it wasn't just that the indicated level was like off, it was like the person knew that there would be three Griffins. So like because that's what like they're the ones who smuggled them there, right? And then they knew the difficulty would be really high, but they only the report was only with like one Griffin or something.
Okay.
So it's not like anyone was necessarily uh lying, but someone wasn't being forthcoming with information, making like other people go on the information they had, which wasn't actually what was actually going on, type of situation.
Okay. But again, there's like a regulatory board that like figures out all the danger levels of the quests beforehand. Right?
Yeah, based on the information they have. Like, hey, I want to fight a griffin, blah blah blah. It's in this thing, and they're like, oh, you want to fight a griffin in the mountains? That's like about this hard or something. And then it's like when you get like uh
I don't have any
it's like
information on the board, right?
uh like the regulatory board thing.
Yeah.
No, but it's more like when you get like an accountant to do a thing for you. With an
Yeah.
accountant, will just like will figure out stuff for you. But if you lie to your accountant or you don't give the accountant the right information, he's not going to be able to do your taxes correctly. So it's not like
And-
they will like they're likely not going to like intentionally screw things up because they're not paid to screw things up. But it's not like that guy has to do anything. You could just give him bad information and then they'll just make the wrong report or whatever.
Yeah, it's like an auditor. Okay.
Yeah.
And sorry, you guys know who gave the quest?
Shandu.
Why do you guys
Some
know that?
person,
Because he's the
something,
client
something.
that they report to when the quest is done.
Okay. Any information from this client?
He works at a magic.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm so tired. I'm like everything's like going in one ear and out the other.
Okay. Don't worry, I've basically retained all this. Although it does seem like a lot of this information you guys kind of already know. So
We
He
should
works at
have
a
a
magic-
meeting. I mean, I guess Horace doesn't have to be there, but he can if he wants to feel included or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if we're doing this like once every 2 weeks, right now what you could do is the players could just meet once a week, once
Yeah.
every 2 weeks as well. So you guys know what you're doing between things, right? Then it'll go a lot more
Yeah,
smoothly.
and we can have a semi-session where he's studying on the side and we have questions. He'll just be listening.
Yeah, that could work.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end the stream here. I haven't because I've been super tired. I'm actually super dead. Like you don't understand. Yesterday I went to sleep at like 10 o'clock. Or not 10 o'clock, like 10, 11 o'clock. And before that, I've been consistently going to sleep at like 10 o'clock. Like yesterday was because of thing.
Okay. I guess you can go to bed then.
Yeah.
Bye bye.